Going on, family? Welcome to LAPEEFING Sundays. Let me introduce the crew. We got Shan Monet, Trigger Mike, Pink, Lady Di, Precious, and me, myself, and LAPEEF JR. Welcome to LAPEEFING Sundays. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hi.
Good. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear y'all for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
It is low.
Let me check. All right, there we go. Think we better now. Mic check.
Sounds better.
Okay. How y'all doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know it's not a holiday people typically celebrate. So do you guys celebrate New Year's?
No.
I didn't last night.
I watched that college football game. Is about all I did. That's the only way I knew it was New Year's, because they said something about it on television.
Yeah, we old now. We old, bro.
My husband was watching that game too.
So that's what
Good game. Great game. Trigger Mike, I can accept that though, brother.
Me too. I prefer it that way.
It's a beautiful thing to get to that point where somebody can call you old, because a lot of cats ain't making it like that no more.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's good to see you guys. Happy New Year's for the people that do celebrate it. Look like the old folks on the panel don't do it. Shout out to the Green Gang. I see in the chat, Matt G is in the chat. Who else we got in there? Ed Hill. Tap, the accountability partner, he's in there as well. And Ricky Williams says, happy New Year. Shout out to all the Green Gangs in the chat. And everybody else that's in there that's not a part of Green Gang, I suggest you go ahead and click that link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Opportunities along with goodies typically come through there first. So if you want to be one of the first, one of the, I forget what you call it, but one of the early bird specials, then I suggest you go ahead and sign up. Also, shout out to the sponsor, Tees Hanley Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. So if you want to fill a tease like yourself, then I suggest you click that link. That's the only way that you're able to get the gift along with the 30% off. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get the show started. It's going to be a short show. Unless you guys read in between. Typically, we start early, but some folks overslept. I was here, so I don't know what everybody else is doing, but you know how black folks are. They claim they didn't celebrate it, but they oversleep. Make it make sense. I can't make this shit up, right?
I don't know how it makes sense either. I'm like, I didn't even do all that, and I still overslept.
Okay. Brittany B, shout out to you. I see you in the chat, part of Green Gang. What's that? Treese Westmoreland. Shout out to you. So let's go ahead and get the show started. You guys seen what was on the thumbnail, which was being a housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is a reward. Would you guys say that that's a true statement? I do have a video, but I kind of want to get you guys perspectives and see what you guys think, just to kind of pick your brains without agreeing with somebody. You know how people say, I agree with what she said. You're not going to go. That's a whole nother story, but go ahead.
I think that they're both great. I mean, obviously, if you don't have any responsibilities, if it's just like, oh, I can do what I want to do, go shopping, that's like the bomb. But I wouldn't hold my breath for that opportunity. But being a housewife, because I like to cook, I like to clean. So to me, that's just as beneficial, So either one would be great. But, having been a woman of leisure, obviously, if you have people to do that for you and it's an option, then I kind of get it. So, but I think they're both blessings.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought that was the stupidest statement I heard in all of December. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
So I have a question.
I think they're both.
Mike, you coming Shantae early, ain't you, big brother?
No. I want to ask him a question. So if you won millions of dollars, you would just chill?
I'm sorry, say again?
So if you could be a man of leisure, meaning you had all the money in the world,
yeah,
you wouldn't chill.
I wouldn't chill.
You would go get a job, or you would do things,
So I think it has more to do with human nature. So who you are as a person, your purpose, and everything. Like we actually have data to attribute to this. Most lottery winners either end up broke, right? Or they end up with serious issues they did not have prior to having the means to do that for themselves, right? So I don't like the example that I earned something that or I got money that I didn't earn, because that means I'm going to lose it just as fast. So too much leisure. That's what I keep saying. Like, who has ever benefited from too much freedom? Who has ever benefited? No child, no adult has ever benefited from too much freedom, which is another word for leisure. So, it's a modern woman statement, but it has no thought in it. To be a woman of leisure, you can't be a wife or a mom. Wife is a job. Mom is a job. Automatically cancels out. You can't be a woman of leisure if you are either of those two things.
Okay. Precious, what are your thoughts about it? Being a housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is a reward.
I think being a housewife is a reward. My mom was a housewife, and you have to have a heart to serve. Everyone can't do it. Everyone, don't have that heart to do that, to actually serve, her husband, to serve the family. It is a reward. I mean, you're there with your children. You're able to have the most influence on your children. You're there for your husband, whatever he needs. Leisure, like Shan said, it's like you have no responsibilities. So I mean, the reward in that is freedom, and too much idle time is the devil's playground. So like that's what Mike was saying. So I think the reward is coming into something that you're actually working for and can see the fruits of your labor.
Okay. Dating, Lady Di.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at Trigger Mike. That's funny. I see why he said that, because being a woman of leisure is just saying you're just free to kind of do whatever, but where's the responsibilities? So we're free when we're kids because we don't have any, and we're semi-free when we're in college. But when you become an adult, I mean, you don't have to have a child to have a responsibility, but being married is what I'm looking into. So if you're a woman of leisure, that means you're not married. You're single, doing whatever. And I don't see the substance in that, especially if that's what you just want to do. You just want to be a single woman. So being a housewife is a reward, because when we're out working as people, it's hard to go out there and work every day, 9 to 5 until retirement. So as a housewife, you're not doing that type of sacrifice. You're in the house, cooking and cleaning, but you're doing it at your own pace. No one is like, oh, forcing you to do something at this time. You have to wake up at that time. You make your own schedule, which is freedom. So that's a reward. Meanwhile, if the man is out there working, he has to do whatever his boss says if he doesn't have his own business. And if you have your own business, you still got to get up. It's probably worse than working. It's just something that you like to do. So if you're a housewife, you don't have to worry about none of that. You just stay at home and do that job. But the job is pretty simple. Only thing you're going to be doing is changing recipes. So it's still a reward. It's a blessing, actually.
Okay. Hank, what are your thoughts about it, sir? Initial thoughts. Being a housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is
I mean, that's a young woman's mindset. That's what that is to me. It's some young woman's mindset, and you never know when your opportunity is going to come to be a housewife, to be blessed with a man's last name. You never know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even get that experience. We've seen it now. We're hearing about it now. Some people are getting second and third chances, while some women are not. So take advantage of it as soon as the opportunity presents itself. Take advantage, and hopefully you have a long-lasting marriage. Hopefully. I mean, I hope that's the case, and you don't go through about 3 or 4 of these bad boys, but it's possible. It happens because people's not mentally ready for it. But I just think ladies need to really take advantage of the opportunity when it does present itself. Don't let it pass you by. Don't be out here trying to keep up with your girlfriends just because they're single and they're out there lonely. I promise you, at night they're at home wishing they had what you had, a man to come home to, not just a man, not just a warm body, but a husband, somebody to call their own. That's what they're longing for. That's what they're wishing. That's what they're praying to doing the Sierra prayer for, is those type of situations. They're not praying, man, to go home and, man, let me call some dick up. Nobody wants that, man. Nobody wants it. Now you got community dick. You sharing dick with everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, every Jane and Joanne. Y'all all sharing that dick. Instead, you can't have a man to yourself. I'm just trying to figure this out. So let's get out of that this selfish ass young woman mindset and move on to bigger and better things, like finding that right man that's gonna take you over to that threshold. Yes, Shantae, you got a question for me?
I was just waiting for my turn, but I wanted to make sure you knew I had something to say. Okay, so I think I took it out of if my man is the husband. I took it out on if we have money. So if I won that Mega Million, God please, today, well, it's Tuesday when it comes out, you know, I'm gonna retire my mom. I'm going to retire people. They will be people of leisure, because that is a blessing that was bestowed upon me. And I'm going to make sure that people who are around me, that I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to relax, especially if you work, you know. Unfortunately, yes, I do think, I don't want it to be like I'm promoting gold digger behavior. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that everybody, if they could take a break, we can all sit here and say that would be benefit. If you could retire tomorrow, you would, right?
But you got it. I think you got the
No, I wouldn't.
up. It means like, so a woman of leisure is not married. A woman, a housewife is like you have money because you ain't working. It's one income.
No, a woman of leisure can be married. A woman of leisure can be when I think of
housewife. No, that's a housewife.
A woman can't be married and be a woman of leisure. She can't.
What I gather was, okay, so there are women who are married, but they have nannies, they have cooks, they are able to do PT, do things that are of leisure. They're not necessarily bound to the home.
That's a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm a housewife. So
okay, well, maybe I just
a housewife. I'm a housewife.
Thanks for the clarity. Sorry.
Yeah.
Being a wife is a full-time job, like in itself. So there's so many things you have to deal with. So even she might have an au pair, she might have a babysitter, but these people can't register her kids for school. They can't take meetings at the piano academy. They can't do anything moms actually have to do. And then basically facilitate the philosophy of the husband. You know, that's what your au pair can't do that. Your wife has to. So even if it's not a 100% physical burden on the woman, she has an emotional and mental burden that she's going to have to carry things through, or she's going to have to deal with her husband.
Sorry, I just thought it meant free time. That's all. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, a housewife can have free time. That you already mentioned nannies, au pairs, and all this other stuff. You could and maids. You can have a free time if you're a housewife. It's just what you want to do, and if you have the means to, you know, have assistance. But a housewife is pretty much free in a different way. You could go shopping and all that stuff.
Yeah, when I hear women of leisure,
I think they're both for blessings. I didn't say they weren't. They were both.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm not saying you. I'm speaking to the crowd.
I just got it a different way. I'm sorry. It's just my brain processes.
I'm speaking to the crowd now. I understand you get it, but yeah, you could do all those things as a housewife. It's up to you and what you decide to put in place. But you can have a sense of freedom. But like Trigger said, there is an emotional attachment that you're going to have. So you have to learn how to balance that. And but you know, I've been a housewife for 9 years now. You know, but that's choices we've made, and you know, things might turn around this year, so we'll see.
Okay, I just want to ask a question, and Uncle Stepdaddy, I see you back there. I'll bring you up momentarily. I'll try to bring like one person in at a time, just so I don't get kind of chaotic. Just to try to involve the chat a little bit more, give a different perspective, what's different on the panel. But the question I want to pose to the panel right now is, do you think that a man's tax bracket determines what a housewife is? Is it much different depending on the tax bracket of the man? Because if you think of somebody that's wealthy and that's a billionaire, is he looking for the same things that somebody that's making $100K is looking for in a housewife? What do you guys think about it?
You're asking like a man with millions of dollars, does he want a housewife versus a?
Yeah, I mean, well, his version of a housewife might be different than what what we looking at it as, right? Because we want a woman to serve, cook, clean, all stuff like that. But when you have a ton of money, you're gonna hire a housekeeper, or you're gonna be spending most of your time probably traveling, or he's gonna be working and she's gonna be doing whatever it is that she wants to do without that responsibility. I mean, imagine you staying in like a 5,000 square foot house. You know, is she gonna be cleaning that whole house up every day?
That's
No, I
what
think at that
So
point he is. I think at that point he wants a woman to look good on his arm, you know, when they go out, when they are amongst others. But as far as having the mindset of someone who takes care of the home, I think it's a little bit elevated. Like you said, they have nannies, they have people who are cleaning up the house. I just think it's a little bit different when the tax bracket is different. When you're talking about having a house that big, you know, they probably don't even see each other sometimes. So I think it's more so, you know, elevated. But she's definitely not doing the things that someone of a lower tax bracket would be doing and would, you know, be taking more to heart.
So people with lower tax brackets, like I said, it's up to how you guys want to do it. There's people with lower tax brackets that have parents that move in, and that's pretty much an assistant, but it's like for free. You know, you keep it in the family, and that again is still, you can have leisure, because if you have grandma at the house, you could go do as you please, go shopping or whatever. So it's how you make it. It's not subjective. People with millions of dollars, yes, it is going to be very different, but you can still accomplish the same things, but there's levels to it. You might not start off doing it like that. You might be the one cooking and cleaning all day. And then as time goes on and that, let's say tax bracket increases, you might add something if you need it. And then it also depends on how many kids you have. If you have one child, I mean, I don't see why someone with the quote unquote lower tax bracket would have a nanny. You should be able to balance all of that. But as a person with more money, that's just the lifestyle that they live. They're going to have a maid and stuff anyway. That's just what they're going to have when you walk in that. But as a housewife with lower, I'm saying lower because that's what we're talking about, average. You're going to have it a different way depending on you. Don't let the money determine what you want to do. That's something that you got to figure out. You budget. People like to spend a lot of money. You don't do that if you're a housewife because it's one income. You don't want the man to, you know, lose all this money because you want to spend all these dollars on some purses. So be strategic with it. Hire a financial advisor if you're not, you know, one already. You can learn on YouTube and all these other platforms. Be strategic if you have average money and you want to be a housewife.
Did y'all see Fantasia, how she was doing an interview with someone and someone was assuming, she's like, oh, well, you got all this money. And Fantasia was like, no, I don't. You know, this is my second time going broke and I'm just rebuilding myself. So, you know, having all that money doesn't equate to, you know, what a lot of people may think it equates to because they're not managing it correctly.
I think you guys make some good points because if you come in wanting to serve, I think that's the first step in. Now, if you guys develop into something else, meaning that you have the pleasure of having a nanny or having a maid and also like that, that just comes with the process of you building with that man. But you have to always have that serve mentality. I mean, like you don't necessarily have to clean the house up to still be a housewife. I mean, your job may be able to be his assistant or to be able to cater to him or make sure he's good, sex, whatever it may be. So that might be your purpose at that time, but it doesn't necessarily stay the same. But I think the woman's mindset should always have that serve first when she enters the home. Let me go and get Uncle Stepdaddy in here real quick and we'll see what I see you came off the mic. I got you. Uncle Stepdad, welcome to the platform, sir.
What's going on, JR, man? What's good, brother?
Can't complain, man. I see you got the old school comb in your beard.
Oh,
man.
yeah. I got that Tej Handley, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had support, man. But good afternoon, everybody. So when you asked the question about, I'm gonna repeat it again so I can make sure, because I don't know if it was the last question you asked or this one, the new one you wanted me to respond to.
And you can respond to whatever you want to respond to, brother, as long as it's pertaining to the topic.
Okay, cool. Well, I think I either heard either one of the brothers, Trigger Mike or Hink, say something about it was speaking on the subject about when it comes to the money or you're hitting the lottery or something like that. This is my opinion. I'm born and raised out in Deep South Mississippi, and I grew up seeing the man basically be the provider and provisioner and things like that. Those I was born in the early 80s. I'm 40 years old. Now we live in a different society to 2023. I don't think is remotely anything wrong. And I forgot the young lady right here that said she's a housewife now, but she said they probably turning, going to turn another turn this year. I respect it. I respect that a whole lot, because at the end of the day, inflation is a mug, and it takes more than one income. It takes more than one able-bodied human being in a household to take care of things. Now, I don't give a damn if you're a millionaire, just like I said, one of these brothers said it, that just as quick as you get it, the quicker you can lose it. Because a lot of color folk, we when it comes to us, we ain't used to having that much money. When you ain't used to having something, you're going to run through it like a hot knife through butter. And then that's why I say when it comes to certain things about what you do with it, nannies or something like that, I would rather allow my parents or relatives to come in and take care of my children instead of hiring some outside person, because who knows my children and knows my people better than my people, my relatives. And I'm going to say this, y'all, and I may not get a whole lot of agreement when it comes to this, especially from the ladies. Look here. My uncle always said, bless his soul, if you able-bodied and you ain't disabled, you gonna work. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care how much money we got. You gonna work. If you got this degree, you wanted to have show all this degree. Look what I got, and this and that. This is what women are leading with now during the modern times. But what's the purpose of going through all that, going through debt just to show these degrees and you don't want to work, but just because we got some money? Because just like we was given to us, it can be taken away. Because you got to think about it. You got to pay taxes on that money. Got it. So why having all this money flowing in, you spending it, but none coming back in? So it's better off for have two people working and two people putting back in, just as much as we spending, we could put back in. I don't understand this like this, and I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole a little deeper. I think women have this this mind frame that just because you're a woman and I'm dealing with you, that I have to basically, to an extent, quote unquote, pay for your services. No, we work together. We're a team. We're husband and wife. We have to get out that mind frame. These right-skinned folks, they don't do that. Why are we the only ones that talk about doing stuff like that? They put all this weight of the shoulders on the man, and then the woman get over here. All I got to do is sit around and do nothing. No, you got to do something with your time. What are you doing? You're additives. You can add to me. Instead of you being a subtractor, you need to add. I don't get it. Like, this stuff is. I'm telling you, this is baffling to me hearing ladies say this.
I want to say something to what you said.
Hold on, real quick. I'm almost finished cooking. Let me finish frying the fish. But I don't get that. And until we see that and find a solution to that, we're not going to get far. Because at the end of the day, as a black woman, you're telling that man that, look here, you got this money, I'm gonna sit here and do nothing. So basically, you're paying me to be a servant. This ain't slavery. Y'all compare to us wanting you all to be cooperative and be fit and feminine. Compare that to slavery. Back when Kev was when he was living, blessed day. So saying you can't have it both ways. Pick a struggle. You got to choose to pick your battles wisely. We can work together, put this money together. We can go invest. You take your money. If we're together, that's what we're doing. You're going to work. I ain't saying I'm trying to be some woman's daddy, but you have to work, unless especially you're able-bodied and you're able to work. And if our children are at an age, you can work, and then when it's time for you to medically go back to work, that's when we call her granny. We can call her ain't your mama, Granny May. All of them, they can come help us, because we a mighty fist can strike a mighty blow.
Shout out to Miss Butterworth, baby.
Go ahead, Shan. I see you raising that hand over there. Like
I thought I didn't know that the question included another. I thought it was a leisure or housewife. I didn't know it was. We were just answering the question. Not to say that that's what we are. It was just a question, like which one is more. It's an opinion. It's not like saying, "Oh, we're out looking for this guy to." It's just a question. If you had a choice, which one is the a reward? Because leisure just means more time. Even people are working remote jobs because they want more time at home, or they do things so they can go overseas, they can travel. Men do this too. If you look at the way jobs are going now, because of COVID, more people are wanting to do more remote work so they can have leisure time. So the question was about leisure time. It's not about, I want to be taken care of. If you're talking about a gold digger, that's a totally different question. I guess I'm just thinking about the leisure, meaning more time to self. Because that's the definition of leisure.
Well, let me say this.
Hold on. Can I hold on? I agree to that, man. But at the same time, my bad, brother. But the thing about it, leisure time, I'm gonna say this, and I think this young lady right here, I forgot your name. Yeah, I think she touched on it. The more time you have, the more money you're gonna spend.
I mean, I think that I don't think that's necessarily true. We were just talking about backstage how we did absolutely nothing. There's some people who are just homebodies. You know, we find comfort in the home. We're not spenders. We're not. It just depends on that person's character and their personality. There are also people who are savers. You know, so I guess that's all in the eye of the beholder. But we're just talking about the question. Yeah, we can sit here on both. There are pros and cons to both. But when the question is simply which one, I think that they're both rewarding. I didn't say that they're not, because I do think that you have to pull your part. But when you're talking about of leisure, that means that you have more free time to have options of what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you're not doing anything. You just have more options of what it is that you want to do. More free time to do what you want to do.
You could do it.
Let me say this.
Leisure.
Let me say this. Most women want to have that work from home and leisure. Most men don't want to have to work from home because they know that's their opportunity to get away from the kids and the wife.
COVID was bad on men, y'all.
And man, I'm telling you, and it's an opportunity for us to get away. I hated it when it happened. Now, of course, fortunately for me, it didn't shut me down. The only thing I heard it forced my son to be home, and my son gets on my nerves sometimes because we are so much alike, and he get on my goddamn nerves. So no, I hated that during that time. But most men don't want to be at home and talking about work from home. No, we don't, not really. If we could have an opportunity to step away from the house and the responsibilities at the house, the responsibility of dealing with the wives and her feelings, emotions, or whatever she's going through, get us an opportunity to get a break from the kids. Men love that because sometimes it's an opportunity to get our peace. We need them extra 10 or 15 minutes before we step through that threshold we call the door.
Even sitting in the car, man.
Most modern day women today, if they heard the word leisure, they wouldn't even think about working whatsoever. Like they wouldn't even think about a job. They would be like, leisure, free time. Oh, I don't have to do anything.
They think it's vacation.
Right. So leisure, we have to understand that in this context, you're either a housewife who is serving the home or a woman of leisure who is outside of the house only serving yourself.
I wanted to say something to Uncle Stepdaddy. So Shan, she looks at this definition a bit different, but I feel that majority of women don't look at it like that, Shan. So I wanted to respond to Uncle Stepdaddy about women thinking that, you know, they just stay at home, don't do nothing. The man goes slaves and works. So, I mean, there are women that's like that. I don't know if it's a lot of women that's like that. I feel like eventually, like for me, you heard me say that this year is going to take a turnaround. I am going to work starting this year because what happened was I was a stay-at-home wife mom, but I obtained a few degrees while I was doing that. And my degree makes quite a bit of money. So I'll be a fool to sit here and not make any, regardless if I need it or not. Like you were saying, you don't have to be a millionaire and still, I'm still going to make more money. So I felt you when you said that. So this is my year to do that, to bring more income into the house. Why?
Congratulations.
Again, it's nothing wrong with it. My kids will be taken care of. You know, I did have family move in, even though that's not consistent because people today, they're not into helping build up with someone. So I'm still struggling with that. And that's the sacrifice now that I have to make because I didn't, my sacrifice was different back then. I stayed home, took care of my kids, right? But now the sacrifice is who's about to help me take care of my kids while I go and make some more money because not all of my kids are in school either, you know? So it's a bit of a sacrifice here, but I feel that is needed, especially where I'm located at this time. And yeah, you don't have to stay a housewife unless you want to. But if you are going to stay at home as a housewife, for the ones that's in the chat, you can do so. Just make sure you're bringing value to the house. That's all. Your man can make a whole bunch of money, but that don't mean you can't make more money. So you could do business from home. It's a whole bunch of stuff you could do. Just don't be sitting there. I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I just don't think it's fair to the house. Unless you really cooking, cleaning, you got lunches made, no one has to want for nothing. All right, cool. Go relax. But if you out there not doing even that, then you need to go making some money.
But the thing about it, dating the marriage, the thing about that, like I agree with you. The thing about that, if you have somebody at the house all the time, that means lights going up. All the utility bills, everything's going to go up. So that's more money coming out of your pocket.
So let me just say this, because I know a few. I live in Atlanta, so it's not hard to find wealthy people. But I think that people have this. I mean, unless you date like this young chick who, she's 23 and you're like 50 something, 60 something, and you know what it is transactional. But most women who are married to wealthy men are not just sitting at home. They're like a philanthropist. If he has a foundation, she's probably running the foundation. If she's like his image outside of him, probably part of organization, the links, Jack and Jill, she's a part of different organizations to support her husband. So it's not like they're just sitting there at home, not doing anything. They are definitely doing things, but not just what we would call a traditional job, so to speak. Most people, and I even had an opportunity to research the Black billionaires and all of their wives, why they don't have traditional jobs. They work for their husbands in some type of way, like like I just said, over foundations, or they may be doing something on the side. They're on boards, so it's not like they're just sitting at home.
Yeah, that's why.
Do that though.
That's why I called cap on that lady. I was like, I don't know what type of. That's only a statement that could be made in this generation. Just to the dudes real quick, any woman who talks that, like if you get in a circle and women who aren't married are talking about being a woman of leisure, please don't pursue any woman like that. I don't know even how that's even possible to be that type of woman. Marriage, even relationship, it's about service. You're not there to serve. What are you doing? So even if like you'll hear women say things like that, but they want to be a mom, and you're like, how? This is not the way you should be thinking. The mindset is completely off, and it's only a mindset that could be even trifled with by a Western woman. No other woman in the world would use the word leisure. You have your time to have your leisure, okay? College was a very leisurely time for me. College is over now, so.
Our girl Summer trigger, Mike.
But I think they watch like these shows like Housewife of Atlanta and Housewife of this and Housewife of that, and they see that these housewives don't do anything but get themselves into drama, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do that."
Can they change the name of this damn show?
But even housewives have a job, because guess what? They're getting paid to be on the Housewives. Like it's not
right,
like
but it's still not reality for women today.
It's scripted.
It's not reality.
You will find that a lot of those women who are on the Housewives show, because a few of them have, like Candy, they have jobs, but a lot of those women too are doing things like they're part of organizations. They don't just, obviously they set aside a time to do the reality show. But if you go look into their resume, they're not just doing a reality show. They just don't highlight that part. It sucks.
But most women nowadays don't think that deep. Shan, is what I'm saying. They see the reality part of it and say, "Oh, I want that lifestyle. I want to have a gown like that. I want to go here." And they're not thinking as deep as Candy, who is a businesswoman, and got her businesses together and probably does the reality TV as one of her leisure things rather than what she actually does for her business.
But not only that person, she still has that money from Escape. She writes songs and things like that. Tiny, that's what I'm saying. They have money already because they come from the music industry. They were in a group. Plus, they write for songs for people. They produce songs for people, so they have their own money. So that's like a minority when it comes to those people. But those other people from those reality shows, they spending their husband money. Their husband got money. But like the Real Housewives of Potomac. Some people, doctors out there in Prince George County. I got family out there. Them folk got money up there. You know what I'm saying? So that means you're spending your husband's money with these nonprofit organizations. He gives you money to give you something to do, to fund these businesses and things like that. It comes out of his pocket or you all's account because you're married, you're husband and wife team.
Another thing is, man. We always compare to these people that the average people out here they not living like that. So the average person ain't got a nanny. The average person ain't got a cleaning woman. The average person don't have all of these things we're trying to make these people have. So we know that. So talk about, you want me to say, most of y'all can't afford to be stay-at-home mothers. You can't. With the economy where it is going, you're going to have to make some lifestyle changes. You have to. You have no choice. So you know, it's funny how we hear people say what they're saying, but knowing they're not living that life.
Not only that, he
Kind of adjusting to some of the stories we try, the examples we try to use to adjust to people who are more they can relate to.
Yeah.
but not only
Like,
And I'll
not,
say
me,
it. Yeah, go ahead.
with me, so yeah, I got degrees. I'm using my personal experience because it relates to this topic. But for me, besides me getting degrees, me and my husband, we own properties. It's just that when COVID hit, right, no one wants to pay up on their rent. So it's situations where they still not paying. It's been almost 3 years because of it. And now we're in a good financial space. It's just when you have business and you have things that's not being how it's supposed to go. Imagine owning like a Chick-fil-A and the business shut down. You know, you're going to have some type of things you got to take care of in order to put it back in place. So when COVID hit, like you said, there's things that's happening now where it's like, oh, well, maybe, you know, this is the thing. This is the year where I need to go do what I have to do to help business side, you know. And as women, you know, just because you're a housewife or a stay-at-home mom, or you feel you don't need to work, you know, you are in a house with your husband. Your husband shouldn't be able to do all of that. You should be able to get up and get out and do what you have to do to help the family, just like he's helping you guys, you know, for you to stay home. So understand that a man sacrifices, so does a woman should learn how to do that if you're not doing that already. Don't think that it's a given. Yes, a reward, but that reward can be taken away.
I'm gonna add something to that. I'm gonna use personal experience too from people I know. Like the pandemic hurt a lot of people. I know people that were married, happy in their marriage, but as soon as the pandemic hit, everything went downhill. I know 4 people personally that end up getting divorced in that matter of a year and a half. Reason being because money was going out, but then again it wouldn't come back in. Financial strife is one of the top reasons that divorces happen. Marriages don't work. And then when that financial stuff started getting tight because this man lost his job due to the pandemic, or this lady that lost her job, or the man was working and the woman wasn't. So if he lost his job, we got to scramble and do something. We still got to take care of the kids. Bills still have to be paid. Mortgage still had to be paid. A lot of people went into foreclosure. You know, a lot of people don't think about that. They think about this lavish, extravagant lifestyle. You know, that these people on TV are portraying. It's all a portrayal that we feel like we want to live, but when they have more problems than those regular folk, every folk do. And that's something that I never really understood, especially us color folk. We want to go out here and live this life that we see on TV. When these folk have I'm on issue taking, you know what I'm saying, deleting themselves. I ain't gonna use that word, but deleting themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of famous color people that deleted themselves in the last 3 years.
They say
All you
more
gotta
money,
do it.
more problems.
Exactly. Biggie said that back in 97. You sure right. And it's the truth. Because the more money you have, the more problems you get. So why do we want to go strive and reach for a lifestyle? Not saying to be quote unquote broke, but why can't we be satisfied with living comfortable? You know what I'm saying? It's a happy medium. I know all of us have heard that. I like living at the happy medium. If me making $60,000 is not enough for a woman to think that I'm a special or potential mate, then oh well, I don't need to be with her. She ain't the right one for me. Somebody will. But I think that's the only thing that I feel like one of the problems that we have that we need to find a solution to. Wanting to live and strive for a life when everything ain't as glitz and glimmer. Green, the grass ain't always green on the other side.
You know who has leisure? Retired folks. They put their work in.
That's the only people that have leisure.
But some people retire early, like military.
They
No,
still had to put some work
the
in.
average person does not retire early.
And then those military people you talking about, they retiring, but they don't pay those military people a good, decent amount of retirement check for them to be able to live, especially if they have a lot of kids. Unfortunately, they don't give them a big reward. So a lot of those military people, if they don't own business, they have to go and work, unfortunately.
Every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. I just hear a lot of people, especially in space, oh, I'm getting money because I'm trying to retire, or I'm starting this because I want to retire early. You know, it's just a speech that I hear quite a lot.
Yeah, they can't make it happen.
Well, I know they can't make
it.
it happen, but that doesn't take away from that being a goal.
Yeah,
it's all cap.
Yeah, it's all cap.
Like,
there's nothing you can do. You're gonna be working till you're 65.
Like for me, my husband pays all the bills up in here. Even when I work, he still pays all the bills. Like it depends on your house and what like I said, if y'all save, not y'all, I'm just talking about everybody that's listening. If you guys save money, it can happen. It's not like, and like I said, I got businesses that's going down. We about to pick it back up, right? But he's still able to pay all the bills because we prioritize and we budget properly. It's not like I'm going to work because we can't pay the house I live in. No, that's silly. People got to do better with their money, and kind of work at it together. But the thing is, women don't want to stay home. So they would rather be a woman of leisure, is what I'm saying.
And not only
Not the way how Shan defined it earlier, but the common way of a woman with leisure is not what I think that's stable. It's not a stable life, long term.
yeah.
I kind of want to switch it up a little bit, Ben. I do have another topic.
We're not gonna watch the video.
Oh shit!
I guess we just took that away, huh?
We done talked the video away.
We
I
done chopped
forgot,
it up.
man.
This is
I
gonna
wanna
make
see
me
what the
upset
video
to hear it
said.
said at this point.
JR
Trigger
forgot.
Mike now.
Mhm. I'm gonna get
Here we go.
triggered.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Here we go.
A housewife is not a reward. Being a woman of leisure is a reward.
Well, that's the same.
No, they're not. No, they're not. If you're a woman of leisure, if you are a woman of leisure, you don't have responsibilities. Your responsibility is being a woman of leisure. If you are a housewife, you maintain and you manage the house. That's not a fucking reward. It's a job. Whether it's only 20 hours a week, it's still a job.
If there's no
If you trying to reward me because I was there through the tough times, let me be a woman of leisure. Let me be a kept woman. That is a reward. Rewarding me with washing dishes is not a fucking reward.
So I
I
said
didn't
I was
say it
gonna
like
get triggered,
she said it.
20
I was gonna get
hours a
triggered.
week? Like what?
and then
I
then
know
so
what she means about being a kept woman, but when I speak of a kept woman, even kept women have responsibilities, which I
Yeah.
named earlier. I
and
consider
kept
those
women
women
usually have
kept
to share
too.
their man too. So happy hunting on that.
Most of them don't care about that.
And man, that heifer sounds lazy, man.
He's lazy, but thank
Right,
you.
And
20 hours
she
a
just
week
want to be at
ain't
the nail
nothing.
salon, beauty salon all the goddamn time, sitting
You
around
know what? You know
twiddling the
what?
goddamn thumbs all day. That's what
You
she
know what,
sounds like.
fellas?
You don't do
I gotta
shit.
talk to the.
Yeah, she
I gotta
sounded
talk-
real bad
man.
saying that for real.
I gotta
I
talk
wouldn't
to
have
the-
said it like she was saying it. Let's just
So-
make that clear.
The good thing is that women are saying this stuff out loud now, so that's the good part. So fellas have to stop saying that it's hard to find a good woman. They are making it really, really easy for you because of the stuff they say out of their mouth. Canceled next, right? So it's crazy.
True.
Trigger,
out
bro.
there
Oh my
Sorry,
god.
she was a bit much.
They're speaking their truth. You should be able to wean out all the nonsense if you think
Yo.
that's nonsense.
When a person show you who they are, believe it.
I mean, just add this question to your speed dating list. So, what do you think a woman of leisure is versus a housewife? Like, boy, next. Crazy.
Speed dating now. Just
I
actually
mean,
20
do you
hours
still
a
do
week.
that? I don't know. I've been out the game a minute.
20 hours a week.
JR, you may have to put together a speed dating event.
Yeah, we can see if we can get it cracking. I have some ideas, man. It's definitely gonna be a lot of changes this year with a few things, a few experiments. With that being said, let me go ahead and get these couple super chats that has come through. Tap the accountability partner. $20 also in it says JR, Hink, Shan, DTM, Precious, Trigger Mike, Happy New Year, fam. Showing early support and another prosperous year. Continue to grind in 2023. Bella Rings 499 says, yes, Lady Di, I love being a housewife and mother. Challenging but very rewarding. Appreciate that. Lexicon, $10 also in it says, turning the page on another beautiful year and starting this one, 2030. Off right. I think you probably meant 2023. Happy New Year, Lapeef family, and a mimosa toast to you. Appreciate that for that $10 mimosa. I haven't even ate none all day. So I got a banging ass headache, but won't be drinking no mimosas without eating no food. Shout out to Crimson Cure in the chat. I see Ricky in the chat as well. Trina in the chat. For some reason, you love putting names constantly throughout the chat. I don't know if you're a troll or not, but mods, please monitor Trina. I would appreciate it if you do not put chick foul and all types of names down the timeline. You will be timed out or blocked, depending on how aggressive you are. So if you are showing aggressive signs in that chat, you might got to do what we got to do. It's 2023. Enough of that.
What up, Rick?
Yeah. Just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal.
That just because you're not capable doesn't make you a good man. And in regards to cheating, it's actually the same thing. Just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal.
Right.
So let's cut the fucking bullshit.
Isn't it? There's a bunch of women out there who legitimately
Yeah.
think their man is loyal. No, their man lives in Des Moines and has no options.
Right. Right.
That's essentially what's happening. Put your man on Charing Cross next to the Playboy Mansion, and then let's see how loyal he is.
Well, hey, look, but the thing of the matter is, you could probably put that man in Des Moines over there. He wouldn't do shit because if me and you turn up, it's over anyway.
So he's saying that the only reason why he's loyal is because he don't have no options. Just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal. What do you guys' thoughts about that? Who wants to chime in first?
Y'all guys, go ahead and speak
Come on, guys.
Oh,
Sorry, I was talking.
Which one of y'all want to go first? Y'all want to
No,
flip a coin?
so that in plain English, what he basically did is dispel a lot of the female myths that women have, right? So you already heard it all from Kevin Samuels and people like that. A man is only as loyal as his options and all of that. So you've heard it in different ways before. But I would really like, I think that is 100% true, because what you think about it is men, it's very hard for men to get women. It's hard. I think we've heard it's like 20% of the men having all the intercourse with all the women out here, right? Because women are very selective, they're very choosy, they like what they like, right? So when you see a man that's seemingly like loyal to you, like if you married a man for the right reasons and all of that, and he's not someone who cares about that flash and being out there, then yeah, he's loyal simply because he has no options, right? Or he can still make the choice if he has options. Like, he's tired of it, but still, that to me rings more true, that a man is likely most loyal when he or seems the most loyal when he actually has no options at all. Because women want what other women want. You would act right if you knew your man was highly sought after.
Yeah, but that's true. But then don't you guys have a choice? So if you had options, right? You have a choice to say, hey, I'm not gonna be doing that. It don't have to be because the women are no good or they're 304s and you're not trying to entertain foolery, but you still have a choice to say, hey, I'm not interested. I'm just gonna be with my wife, because that's your choice, right?
Absolutely. So that's what I said. It's like, man, in my 20s, I'm telling you, I did way too much. And I say it all the time, and people be like, oh, that's crazy. It's never going to happen to me. I realized that getting married took away a lot of my anxiety about dating. I had a lot of anxiety. Let's just be real. You got pregnancy scares with girls you don't really care about. You got people who you didn't think you were serious, that you thought she knew what it was, coming at you sideways. Like, what are we? All of a sudden, like, it was so much anxiety in dating that, yeah, when you get married, you actually make the conscious choice to be like, oh, this shorty at work pushing up on me. How I'm going to deal with this? Too much trouble, rather not deal with it. Right. So, yeah, you can absolutely make the conscious choice to be loyal to your wife, even though you have, women trying to get at you.
Yeah, because there are regular guys that have options all the time. And it's just based off what they are, what they look like and stuff. So those men that are average, they always put a dollar amount to it. You don't have to be a millionaire to have options. You could walk outside as an average man and have 5 options. You could have 5 options at your job every goddamn day. That's just on you, on what you want to do, how your lifestyle is set up, and your own choices. But just choose wisely.
And that's the thing. It's like, are men going to choose wisely? I think if they had the choices, and I agree with the statement, just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal. Because if the man had the choices, he just might move on that option that he has. I was on a date with somebody a while ago, and he was married, and I said, well, tell me some things that happened in your marriage. And he said, well, one thing was, why the marriage kind of crumbled apart. And he said, well, I was in the mall or something one day, and I looked at this girl, and she said, well, you staring, you gonna come get it? And he did. Like, he didn't even fight it or anything. So I think if men have the option, and not most men, but a lot of men, just because you're wired to be more polygamous than monogamous, if they have the chance, and they just may, or they have the option, then they just may, say forget loyalty and operate on that option.
And that's the thing. That's why I say choose wisely, because there's some guys that would sit here and do something like that, but that girl tore the whole house down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just risky out here. You know, as a man, y'all do what y'all do. Just be mindful and be considerate of what's going on in your house. If you have a good woman, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's on you. Y'all do that. If you don't have a good woman, hey, I mean, y'all niggas be going out there doing what y'all want to do when these women don't do what they got to do. So that's options too.
Hey, I'm a dime plus 99. I just choose not to do what I need to do, and I stay at home. That's what I choose to do. I choose not to, not because I don't have the options. The options are there. I just don't take advantage of them because I like what I got. So I'm good. Now, if I was out there like that, I would go flex my options. I'm coming to Real Precious' house. I'm coming to Chantel's house. I'm coming to whatever ladies out there's house if I was single. But since I'm not, I stand down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't flex no more. There's no need.
I think another way a man stays loyal is, I think I have a very good read on women. I know that women lie and like are super deceptive, you know, and they can fall in love with you from afar. Like I say, most people that get divorced, I think there's a high percentage of them that get remarried to people they work with, right? So even at work, you can feel somebody trying to snake in on your relationship and get information from you and all that type of stuff. And it took me maturing to be like, man, this lady trying to, you see what I'm saying? She's trying to weasel in here. She's trying to get me to do some stuff, but they don't want to be like, they'll make all kind of concoctions and advances to say, she don't got to know all that type of stuff. I'm not a fool. Women change their mind all the time. That's y'all number one tendency. All right. You start something with that lady. Next thing you know, she at your front door because she followed you home. No, thank you. I got a good read on women, and it's never going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. That's why most men like me make the conscious choice. I ain't fooling with y'all. You know, I want my kids to grow up in this 2-parent household forever, because they will wreck your home quick.
I got a question I want to pose to the panel real quick, and then we can jump back into it. Uncle Steph, I know you ain't spoken on it yet, right? So I'll let you speak on it in a second. But, you know, say there's a guy, right, that was basically, I had just been a male thought. And what people bring up is patterns, right? They say people have patterns. Is it possible that at some point in time that the man can be like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to start doing right. Like, is that possible? Or do you think that when it comes to a man, because we always say women, like, don't turn it off, you know, once a hoe, always a hoe, right? But when it comes to a man, can a man just say, I want better, I'm going to do right by just one woman, and I'm going to live my life? Or does he always continue that pattern?
Man, everybody's silent.
I think it takes a special kind of woman for him to change up. If she's not that woman, he's not going to change up.
Ooh, so here's the weird part about it. It has a lot to do with his upbringing and his outlook, right? So men are responsible for, you know, we the one who create the marriage, we create the relationship, we decide who gets married. So what does he value in life? I'm gonna tell you right now, every dude that went to college, especially like an HBCU, you were a male thought. The number in which women outnumbered us in those schools, you could not help it, right? If you even want to have a roster, they would put themselves in your roster. So what is your upbringing first? Do you even value committed relationships and marriage? If you don't, very low likelihood that they ever will. But as somebody like me, yes, I could turn it off because that's the way I was raised. And like I said, but we also have to acknowledge there may be some trauma in there. It's not just a conscious choice, right? There may be some trauma in there where, as I was in the service watching all my boys getting taken left and right. Woman married him this year, divorced him this year, took the kids with him. So I'm watching everybody else's trauma and like, okay, I don't want any parts of that. I still made it out this game unscathed. I'm going to lock this down and settle down before I end up like these fools. So in that case, I think it's absolutely possible. And I don't think it's about the woman all the time, right? Because, you know, people say it's the woman, she's so beautiful. No, he's choosing her, you know. He has to want to change for himself. Women don't change men at all, unfortunately.
You said
I want
something
to say
key.
something.
Go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead, Lady Di.
Someone said, women, I think Trigger Mike, you said women change their minds too much and stuff. I feel,
yeah.
What did you say?
It's your primary tendency to change your mind, to be able to change your mind.
Oh, okay. And I was gonna say to that, if woman that's trying to be married, men like consistency. So if you keep changing your mind on all these needs and wants, you know, it's not stable, and you're not gonna be able to have a stable relationship. So try to pick what you want, and I'm talking about everything, and then kind of like stick to it. That's all I wanted to say to that.
Anybody else want to add in on that? The man loyalty thing.
Yeah, I add on. Unless somebody else about to go, I'll let them go for it.
Go ahead, Shan. Shan is very eager today. She had a call.
So, y'all know I love Jay Wall. Just like mom, whatever. That's his name, Jay Waller. Anyway, I think that there are different. I think I agree with everything that the video had to say. My grandmother used to always tell me, "A man worth having, everybody wants to have." Okay, and so I was. Those thoughts were always put in my brain. I know most women would not agree with me, but that's why I'm a little bit more like, I think somebody put in there, well, he's gonna cheat. I'm like, okay. As long as you don't mess this household up, my brother. That's just how I was raised. And I'm sorry I feel that way, but I do agree with him. If men had an opportunity, we're not talking about like Tisha down the street, because there's calibers to it, but these men have access to women who are of a certain and just imagine the best of the best women are approaching you. And that becomes, that's like, being a candy addict or just walking past candy and like, I'm not going to eat none. I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to turn every time. He's probably going to mess up one time or two. And I'm not giving men a pass, because I do think that there's a loyalty you have to, if you made your vows and your woman is not into that, then you should definitely not do that to your woman, But I'm just saying that I'm not stupid. I know that men who are of a certain, they have options, and maybe when he's on that business trip, he exercised that options, but those options do not mess up this household, my brother. You understand? And that's where the issue comes into play. When the option thinks her option is to be in the household, and that's never an option. That's
all right. Go ahead, Uncle Stepdaddy.
Wow, that was very profound. I'll say that, JR, man, you touched the nerve right there when you asked that question, man, because that male thought you were talking about, that was me. That was me a few years ago. And then it comes
about it. It's a safe space. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, but I'll make a, I'll throw my personal life out there. Like, I ain't like these other people in these spaces. I don't mind talking about it. I was that guy. Like, with me, I have 5 children, 5 different women. I was that Pookie and Ray folks talking about. Yeah, and I was 19 when I had my first child. So, I had 5 of my children within 4.5 years. I had 3 within a year. So I was very reckless with that old pineal gland. But it takes the time of having good people around you. And you start seeing, you learn from your mistakes and others. One thing my uncle told me before he passed is that, nephew, you give away your dick, you give away your power. And when he told me that, like, that really changed my outlook when it comes to women and how I treated them. Because I have 4 daughters. And I was like, I had to put myself in a situation where, okay, I have 4 daughters. If some other guy would treat my daughters the way I treated other people's daughters, like, how would I feel about that? I've been on panels where people ask me, well, would you allow your daughters to date a guy like you? And first question I have, I'm like, hey, which one? You want the younger me or the dude I am now? I said, the guy I was, nah, I probably had to pistol whip that guy. But the guy now, yeah, because I have a better understanding. And when it comes to loyalty, yeah, like you said, you're only loyal as your options, but at the same time, it's a choice. We all have choices to make. You can either cheat or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Just like Kanye said in one of his verses, he can be in a room full of hoes and still be loyal. Going to strip club, you have all the temptation in the world right there. But if you choose to walk out of there with your pineal gland still as ashy as it was when you got in there, then you good. Because at the end of the day, like us as men, yeah, we have the options. It's all about what options we're willing to take. This is what the options we're willing to accept. Because a lot of us ain't gonna just lay down and poke, quote unquote, anything. You know what I'm saying? You could be in Des Moines, and I don't agree with him. There's some attractive women in Des Moines. I got family up there. I still have family on reservations out there way in the Midwest. So I live in Houston. And anybody know about Houston in Texas, they already know. And I just chose to not to, you know what, I want to be here. I want to be a stand-up man. I don't want to be community D. I don't want anybody to be out with a lady that I'm seeing and be like, oh girl, this and that. I had him, because that's what some women with you know what I'm saying, short minds and young minds going to do that. But it's all about where your attention lie. My thing is switching over to that, where my emotion and my attention and my time is being invested. That's where my loyalty is. You're going to get all type of obstacles and things thrown at you, but it's all about what you're willing to accept and what you're willing to take. You know, you learn from your past experiences and your past mistakes and others. I don't want to be the dude that's out here come years from now, get sick and come find out I have some type of disease that I can't get rid of. You have to think about things like that. I want to be here for my kids. I want to be an example I got one son and 4 daughters. I want to be a dude, okay, I'm going to love my daughters like I want a man to love them and respect them. So when it comes to that, I don't want to put myself out there as some loose dude out here sticking his peen in every woman that he sees walking, because my daughter's going to think that that's cool. My daughters really haven't never seen me with a woman outside of their mama. And I'm 40 years old. I ain't seen me with really any woman outside of a friend that I've been cool with since I was little. So loyalty, I to an extent agree, but I disagree, if that makes sense, because we all have choices. And as we learn, as we get older, like I said, you give away your D, you give away your power. And you don't want to give away power, because a woman's going to always have power over you if you do that.
I love the transparency.
That was beautiful.
I wanted to say real quick, I'm a firm believer, if you're a woman with a man and you're not doing the things that he likes, then you're giving him the opportunity to exercise his options. So you must do what it is that he likes, period. I don't care, because if not, it's not, to me, I don't think it's fair anyway, because you want him to do everything you like. So let's be real with that. Make sure y'all both doing everything y'all like. And I'm talking about sexual, mentally, everything. It don't have to be sex though. Sex is big. Y'all better, do that do. But when it
could
comes
be talking
to
less.
Huh?
I said it could be talking less. It could be real simple.
Thank you. Talking less, and you got to pay attention to your man, because you could tell that he ain't listening. All right, then shh, quiet. So it's a lot of things that you got to put into play. A man loves peace. Make sure you're at peace and then some. Don't be here being a damn burden or annoying or whatever. You got to be that one. And if you that one, he is not going nowhere.
Can I add one more thing, JR?
Sure, go ahead, brother.
All right, I'm gonna add this to what she said. Everything she said was correct. We use a few examples. Lady, stop telling your man what you ain't gonna do. I ain't gonna suck your dick. Hey, you ain't got to. It's some nasty junk over down the street on the other side of town that'll gladly do it. Well,
why you make that face though?
I'm just saying. Hey, that's how I heard a lot of talk. But then secondly, ladies, and especially ladies on these platforms, not you all ladies, but ladies I've seen on other platforms and I've seen, stop telling men what they want. Stop doing it. These dudes telling y'all what they want. It's some simple guys out here. They don't want nothing but a glass of water and probably some crackers or something and watch the game. Stop telling us what we need and what we want when we tell y'all. You ain't
water
no man.
and crackers.
Just using an example, brother.
Struggle food.
Trigger said, I need some wings up in here.
Wings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just using the simple stuff. But like wings, beer, and stuff like that. Stop telling us what we need, what we want.
Let's not talk about food. I'm so hungry right now, and you guys are talking about
that is terrible. That is terrible.
But no, we're gonna end the show right now. Oh no, God, we're gonna end the show right now.
Jay,
Lord,
we're not finna do this.
It's gonna be
this guy here. This guy here, man.
Jay Prince, when it
Speaking of
my guy,
when it pertains to
Jay Prince,
King Pookie.
Okay, what was the question? Just because you,
Jesus.
Just because you're a Pookie,
man, come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Just because you cheat, you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal. What do that mean?
Why are you laying down, man?
No, come on, Hank.
God damn.
Just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal. So meaning like so what I'm getting from this question is just because you can't cheat on your spouse, but that don't mean you don't think about it. Or that don't mean that you loyal.
I mean, it's something similar to that. So basically, he was saying the reason why the man is not cheating is because he don't have no options. So like a man that don't have options can't cheat.
Well, like I've been saying for a long time, I think for men and women, this monogamy stuff is a force. I believe that at once upon a time, a group of men implemented this monogamous stuff to have control in women. They also implemented STDs to scare people from cheating. I don't believe being monogamous is godly. I don't think it's natural because when you think about it, since they implemented monogamy, no one ever passed it. No one ever not thought about cheating or have not cheated. For decades and generations, it's always have been people cheating, and they manipulate us. Talk with this. Oh, everybody got temptation. You got to fight your temptation. If God put y'all together, right? If we're gonna say God married y'all, you wouldn't. If God put it together, if that marriage was based off God, it won't be no temptation. Y'all saying God got all these powers, and if God really got all those powers, and he let's say he put me in the real precious together, it won't be no temptations because God put us together. That means we only was designed for each other. But why is I'm still getting horny from other women? Even that I'm trying to fight it. So is her. She getting horny in arousal from other men.
JP, why do you use God when you don't believe in him?
No, I never said I never believe in God. I'm not a Christian.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Jay Prince, you said something about if a woman has temptation too, then God put that together for her to do that as well.
No, I was being sarcastic, because people always say their marriage was based off God. God sent me this woman. God sent me this man. They fell from the sky for us. And I think just people just was told that, and that's just a tradition, religious thing. I don't think it's accurate. I don't think being monogamy is real. It's not natural. You can actually go to the date when monogamy was implemented. And then they created STDs to make people have fear from cheating. It's really for men to control the women.
All right, I agree with everything you said except creating STDs, bro. Like, come on, that stuff is these viruses. Like, you do know animals. I was gonna say animals can catch chlamydia and stuff too. So that stuff is natural. It's not manufactured.
Yeah, chlamydia was in. I think it came from monkeys, but this is what I'm saying. Like when you got to think about it, STDs is man-made.
What'd you say it came from, JP?
I thought it comes from monkey, but you gotta keep. No, I didn't say. Slow down, Hank. You gotta also think, right? When you talk about condoms, right? Condoms got a birth date. What was we doing before condoms, before STDs? And that's what you got to go back to the natural order of things. People's doing natural. This stuff is the reason why we get upset because our woman cheat on us, and the reason why women get upset.
You realize some people die
because we was indoctrinated.
You realize the life expectancy was also lower.
So stay on topic, guys. We stay on topic. Stay on topic, y'all.
So JP, you're right in the sense that monogamy is not natural. It's not. All right. So what it is something that was implemented not because to control women, it's to control civilization. You have to have, in order to have a civilized state of any kind, you need to control who takes care of these children everyone is birthing. All right. It takes money to raise children, does it not? So you say you join this man together with this woman. So think about if every kid or every kid didn't know their daddy. That would be more murderers on the street. That because moms can't handle these boys while he going out making more babies, and more babies. Nobody's there being present and being the father in that particular home. So it's just something created so civilization could thrive, right? So I 100% agree with you that monogamy is not natural. It is a choice. You know what I'm saying? So
I
But
think
then
we're gonna
Jay Prince
continue
too.
It
as
was
Jay
long as
Prince,
we
created
continue
under a
trying to.
religion.
Go
That
ahead,
was
Data.
a religious creation. Monogamy was.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
go
we
ahead,
gotta
Data. My bad.
yeah, I'm gonna say we gotta start butting this one. I got one more topic. We're gonna have to start butting this one on up. Any final thoughts pertaining to just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal? Did anybody not get something out if they wanted to get out?
I just wanted to say to Jay Prince real quick that it's a lot of unnatural things going in everybody's brain every day. People want to steal, but they can't. But is it okay to steal? No, you know what I'm saying? So I hear what you're saying, but then it's like, it could be looked at both ways. And back in the day, if you talk about Bible, there was men that didn't have multiple wives. They just had one, and you know what I'm saying? So it could be both.
See, me personally, I know we got to move from the top. When you talk about stealing, if people are hungry, just like animals, they're going to hunt. And when you think about what you just say, something about Bible days about the women, what you just say?
Back in the day, there were men that only had one wife too. It wasn't just both.
Like me, I believe a marriage is when you give a woman a child. When you talk about those men in the Bible that had 300 wives, they didn't go to court and marry 300 women. No, they had 300 women pregnant, and I believe the baby is the ring. Through that child combines your families together. Through that child, which means y'all will always be bonded together to death do its part naturally, because that will always be your son, and that will always be through that child make y'all together forever.
Right.
That's what I believe is a marriage. I don't believe that we supposed to went to court and all this other stuff. No, that's not a godly marriage. A marriage is like, if I get you pregnant, God wanted, because there's a lot of women that I probably done been with, never had babies with, but all of a sudden I got you pregnant.
JP, you been
God
married 4 times?
Huh?
You been married 4 times, man?
Technically, yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Because those women is still in my life. I can't get rid of them no matter what.
Are you
your
taking care of
family,
these
dog. Your
We
family.
become a family, and our families combine together through that child.
Are you taking care of these women?
Actually, I am. Because I want my kids. I want my kids.
So let me ask you this, JP: are you gonna move all into one house or one apartment complex, or how you gonna accomplish that?
Actually, we've been working on that because I'm trying to buy land, so I want to buy me an apartment building and stuff like that. And I had the idea. Now it's up to them if they want to move there or not. But I want all my kids, mom, whatever, how many kids I make, I want them all to live in one big building.
So is Roro buying into this plan?
Yeah, of course she is. All my babies is.
All right, y'all. We got to go ahead and move on. You guys just tune in. Welcome to LAPEEFING Sundays. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The channel is almost at 80K. So if you guys hit that sub button for me one time, let's see if we can get it before the show is out. Also, shout out to the sponsor, TV Channel, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. I'm here to tell you that it works, and I'm not just saying it. You got oily skin. Once you put that scrub on and that wash, it literally like dries the skin out, feels smooth like a baby's ass.
Man, tell me about it.
Yeah. And then they also have the like the AM and PM moisturizers which you put on, so it has sunblock to protect the skin. People with tattoos, and I know not everybody like tattoos, but you gotta understand with tattoos, you gotta put on sunblock. That's how you maintain that color. So if you got here rocking a sleeve or some art, make sure you protect it. It's not invisible. Okay? That's why I look
especially in Texas, bro.
Yeah, it's hot in Texas. Definitely does. All right, shout out to the sponsor, TJ. Hit that link, y'all. I do have a link dropped. I'm not gonna let it get chaotic. We do have one more topic. We'll dive into it. The panel will go first. Jay Prince and Uncle Stepdaddy. So you guys should sit back and sit tight, go for the ride, and then we'll transition into you guys. Church say amen.
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 Glory. Right on.
All right, so our next topic that I want to talk about is multiple failed relationships. Let me fix that real quick. Let me fix that multiple. I do have a clip, but the clip may not reflect what I'm going to say right now. Sometimes if you do have multiple fair relationships, you have to look at yourself. Sometimes it's not everybody else. It's not the fact that you chose wrong or you keep choosing wrong. And maybe something that's going on within that you may not realize. And so that's why it's important to have somebody to tell you about yourself and not having those yes men and yes ma'ams around you, because as humans, we don't see everything. We don't see everything the same way. There's a lot of things that we don't see about ourselves. Not everybody has the privilege to be able to look at themselves and hold themselves accountable for whatever it may be. And accountability doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. Accountability can be something that you may not realize that may be wrong to other folks and everybody else. Y'all need to say well on that one. That was an amen right there.
It was. Amen.
Amen.
I had nodded.
Ours. Okay.
Yep.
I like the acknowledgement. It's a new me in 2023. We ain't fucking around.
I see that. That's what's
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Elevate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get some of them, whatever y'all do in the spoken word? There we go. But let me go ahead and introduce this clip, and then you guys can respond to how I led and as well as to the clip. Let's do it.
And have to understand this.
Oh, wrong one. Damn, I'm tripping. I said I was starting the year off right, but it's too early. It's too early, as I always say. Go ahead. There it is. No, that was the right clip. Okay.
Are hard-headed, and women don't listen. Sometimes.
That's a very likewise statement. Saying the hard-headedness. I'm just saying that's a very likewise statement.
No, but it does not matter. What I'm trying to say is she had 8 failed relationships. You're not going to sit here and convince me that it was not a safe space and guys don't like to talk. No, they're talking. She's not being receptive. Right? Everybody talks in different ways. If you have 8 failed relationships, you don't know how to listen. You do not know how to take direction. And direction is not like, I don't want to put that in a submissive aspect, but taking direction, like maybe, hey, you know what? You need to just do this just this way. So then that way you get further in your life. And guess what? Maybe she doesn't listen in that regard. Hey, if you want for me and you to be better, I need you to do this so then I could give you that. Maybe she's not listening in that regard. But women tend to not listen. The ones that I believe jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship is because she doesn't listen to anybody. And as a man, we are supposed to be the provider and we're supposed to be the leader. But if you're not allowing him to lead because you're just not listening, then it's going to cause confrontations, which is eventually nobody's going to want it.
I got this multiple failed relationships, but this can fall on the men as well. I've seen some men that have multiple failed relationships as well, where, because we're a little older, right? We're a little seasoned, a little aged, and it gets to a point where you keep hearing like, man, she's the one, and then you look up like, what happened? It's just, we just want seeing eye to eye. And it's like, bro, I've been hearing the same story over and over and over again, and I'm on the outside looking in, but from what you tell me and how it looks like, she's a decent woman. Got a good head on her shoulder. So why does it fail? But let's talk about the multiple failed relationships from all aspects of it, right? Based off what I led with before I played the clip. Let's talk a little bit about the clip. And then men fail their relationship as well. So I've seen and heard. Let's talk.
So I like to always bring personal experience because that's just where I come from. And there's people out there with the same experience. So for me, according to the clip, like my personal situation wasn't because I wasn't listening to a man. I just never had a man. I had boys, right? They weren't leaders at all. So I was looking for a specific type of person that wasn't there. And when I found my husband because I told him that that's who I wanted to be with. I told him that I needed him in my life type of thing because he was showing me that leadership mentality. Like he was able to, do the things that I was looking for. So I have failed relationships based off of me just trying to find the right person. And to me, in order to find the right person, sometimes you have to be in the relationship because that's how you get to know someone fully. Because you could date all day, but there's nothing like knowing someone behind that. So I ended most of my relationships. It was failed because I said, hey, I don't want to do this no more because of a lot of things. So, of course, in my previous relationships, you know, hurting feelings and stuff like that. That doesn't mean every guy, you know, was a bad person. It just wasn't the one for me and my leadership style, you know. So, but then, like, again, I was young, so I really wouldn't really know, honestly. But as I got older, I figured it out pretty early. So that's just my experience.
So I think this is actually really huge. Is for anybody looking for a partner. This is something that I think, especially in the Black community, most people are going to suffer from because of the high single motherhood rate and all of that. It's very important, and I'm a man, so I'm gonna talk to the men. It's very important that a man gets the context of a woman's dating history, because a lot of women will say relationship and it was a situationship, right? But even still, you can gain a lot of context from that and draw conclusions about it. When I was dating and still dating, I paid special attention to this particular part because I was taught if a woman had multiple, and I mean multiple failed relationships, she usually has other things in her life that have gone wrong in the same way. She might not keep friends for very long. You know, you start looking at the pattern and you might develop one. Some conclusions you can draw is that she might make bad choices. So that means she's either superficial or she wasn't taught at all what to look for in a man, right? Because you also have to understand that women who choose, or better yet, let someone else vet a suitable partner for them, they don't have these issues. This arises when women are trying to choose for themselves, right? So when you have a woman who has multiple failed relationships, what else you conclude from that is that she has low accountability, which we've seen, right? She projects blame a lot, because when you ask them what happened in a relationship, how many women actually say, it was me, it was all my fault, I wasn't? They never say that. They give you all the dude's dirty laundry, like cause has no effect. Like an effect has no cause. It's all his fault, right? So they have low accountability. And when you have those two things together, these women will leave every man they ever get with. These are the same women that say, I'm in it for my happiness. I'm looking for that one. There is no one, lady. You're going to fail in every relationship you have because you have low accountability and you make bad choices. In my particular case, I didn't realize, because I was taught well, right? I only took women seriously if you weren't a virgin, which is very rare, right? You had to be a serial monogamist, right? I dated women who had relationships of like 5-year spans or better, because that showed me, that's like reading somebody's resume in an interview. You can do this thing called a relationship. Y'all just timed out. And she took a lot of accountability. The women I date take a lot of accountability. I started to change a little bit. We weren't seeing eye to eye. We didn't make time for each other. So I thought the relationship was over and I broke up with him. I love that about every woman I've dated that I've seriously considered marriage with. My wife was like that. High school boyfriend, college boyfriend, me. Snatch her off the market. So I really put that to men to really take that situation of failed relationships seriously and make sure before, if you are going to take the risk, she's done the work to acknowledge what's wrong with her, not the dudes that she was with in the past, what's wrong with her and how she can make those positive changes for the future.
Yeah, no one's talking. So yeah, I agree.
I was going to ask you something, Data. I want to ask you, okay, when you talk about the men, the boys, because I would consider the women I had was girls. When you talk about those boys that you was attracted to and all this other stuff, have your family ever said, okay, like people that you introduced these guys to, I'm quite sure you did, have they ever said those are the wrong guys for you?
Yeah, they did. They said that. And I was like, nah, you don't know him, you know, that type of thing. So
what type of guys? Give us some characteristics of these guys.
So guys that didn't have any goals, they just went to work, came back, like, you know, they're not striving to be better. They're settling with little bit of whatever they got going on. And in life, I believe you have to be able to elevate. So there's no ambition. And then one in particular didn't have any confidence. I'm a confident person. You can't be non-confident and I'm with you and we walking around and we going out and you're not able to communicate with people. Because when you do business, you got to be able to network, stuff like that. I thought about the bigger picture with that part. So those are some characteristics that I just wasn't looking for. If I want someone to be my husband, I know that's a certain type of leadership. That's why I was saying that. And those men just wasn't showing like a long-term life of we gonna be good type of situation, because I planned to stay at home and have businesses. So I had my goals from an early age. I just didn't see what I wanted. So that's why I said boys.
Have you ever dated guys your family considered to be like street guys and stuff like that?
Street?
Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't know about that.
But they didn't know they were street, but were they?
No, I'm saying, so I only had one situation with a street guy. I'm saying my parents didn't know that I was dating a street guy.
How long you was dating them for?
Under a year. It wasn't long at all. So they wouldn't accept a street guy. And I had to learn that street, that's not going to work. So I had to learn on my own. They wouldn't accept nobody's street. So that's why I ain't saying nothing.
So, because my thing is, what I learned out of life, you attract who you really are. Maybe it's not the men. It's the person if you're attracting all these type of people, that might just be you. And the reason why I would think it's different for the men, because women is being educated on being a particular way towards men. We even got this no-fault divorce. So they getting degrees, they're getting businesses, they're getting a lot of money. We already know how that's going to play out. They is trained to be more masculine. So if I had 100 women and then none of them worked out, that's because those women has been raised and been taught how to be rebellious and all this other type of stuff. And secondly, I think when we had to melt this down a little bit to the Black community, I think Black women we have these, a lot of men have these issues with Black women because Black women don't see us, Black men, as a power source. They don't see us, the men that only could give them provision, protection. Because when you think about it, Dayton, Sean, and the Real Precious, if something go wrong in your community, what number are you going to dial? My number or that 3-digit number?
So I hear what you're saying. So I'm going to respond to that. So real quick to what you said. The reason why, so for me, I attract a lot of people because of how I look. I used to model and stuff like that. So I'm a nice person though at the same time, right? So me being nice, and then to most men that I was around at the time, they thought I was very attractive. So I attract all type of people that, let's say if you want to talk about money, no money, average person, fat person, it don't matter. I attracted a lot because of the person that I was. It's just me saying, hey, I know I should do better. So let me go seek that. Now, I didn't know everything. I was young. So I had to figure out, okay, well, I do know what I need because I seen it in my parents, right? My parents were married, but then they got a divorce or whatever. So I had to understand what it is that I really want, because since my parents got a divorce, I seen division. I seen my father go remarry someone, you know what I'm saying? So I seen a whole bunch of stuff. The lifestyle that I lived, I'm from New York. So I see a lot of stuff. It's a melting pot over there. I seen situations that is crazy. And it made me like, okay, well, what the hell do I want? So me figuring that out as a young person, that's just what I decided to do. Am I a street person? No, I'm not at all. You know what I'm saying? Am I someone, like I said, there was someone that was not confident. I'm a very confident person. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I'm attracting people who I am. I'm not nothing like that. It's just that as a woman being attractive, you have a lot of women that are attractive have a lot of options. They just have to figure out, don't be fooled and be stupid, picking all these stupid options, and pick the right option. So that's when I said I found my husband, because even though he had to accept, okay, yeah, this is a good person. He obviously thought I was a good person. He married me, right? But I had to put my foot and say, hey, I don't want to, since I have options, let me sit here and be stupid and pick the wrong one, and then I'll be jacked up, having kids and stuff like that, when I shouldn't be doing that. I should be married. So I had to put my priorities straight, and that's kind of like what I did.
Yeah, like that was my question. Like when you say you attract all types of guys, I'm like, damn, if that's the case, why you didn't attract the good ones?
I did attract good ones, but so being young, you don't know, like I didn't want to settle down. I'm gonna just say this. I'm saying a whole bunch of personal stuff, but this is my life. I got proposed to at the age of 17, and that person was good. I just wasn't ready. You understand? I said no. And that's why I said before, I said all of the guys that I was with, wasn't that they were bad. It was me. Like, I was running around like, nah, I ain't trying to do that. I could have been married at 17 years old, for real. And then
So with that 17-year-old guy, I didn't mean to cut you off with that 17-year-old guy, because I know a lot of women get good guys coming after them, but they tend to say, I wasn't ready for him and all this other stuff. And typically the answer be because that guy was either nerdy, geeky, square. He won the thing. And those women always ended up with the bad guys. Then 10 years later, 20 years later, now they're going back looking for that nerd. Am I right?
JP, not everybody's picking the Pookies, man.
Yeah. I was like, some women, sure.
Not everybody's doing that. Hey, I know it's what you want. That's what you like to hear.
I think they treat professionally. I think they treat professional not to admit it.
JP,
I think they too.
Not every woman wants a Pookie, man.
But it takes a Pookie to know you don't want a Pookie.
I just think a lot of these women is too professional, too smart, and too eloquent to get up here on a national platform and admit it.
No, they're not.
It takes a Pookie to know a Pookie. It takes
So that means
one at a time. Most women are simple-minded, JP. They really are. They're not difficult. They're not no damn Rubik's Cube. They're nothing like that. They're simple. They just simple-minded women who don't have no idea what most of them really want. They think they know what they want, but they really don't. That's why they need a man such as myself to guide them, to lead them, to train them, and to show them the way.
They need you, huh?
Exactly. But there's only one Hink, so they can't get me. There's only one.
So how come you not married? You one of the good guys. Wait a minute, you were married.
Yes, I was.
And it's divorce, right? It didn't work out.
Yes, I was. But guess what,
so
JP?
You the guys that if we go by Trigger Mike standard, when we got to do the history of men, right? A lot of failed relationships. And you also have admitted on here a while ago that you have been in a lot of relationships. So when you said that they need to pick a guy like you,
let me say
you said that they got to pick a guy like you. Maybe you
stand down, JP. You've been married 4 times. Enjoy your marriage.
Hold on, y'all. Let's get
I guess I've only been married twice because I got 2 kids. One of them by my wife and one of them when I was a sophomore in college. So that's a whole different story. But nonetheless, you still got to be the leader that you need to be for these women. Now, do I believe in marriage? Yes, I do. Because that's why I'm in a process of doing what I'm doing now, of getting married again. So I believe in it, even though my first one failed. I still believe in it. Now, it took some therapy for me to get to that mindset again. I promise you that. Because when I first got divorced, I was like, "Fuck this shit. Marriage ain't shit." But I had to do a change because I know it wasn't just the thing about being married that was failed. It's just some of the things that I did, some of the decisions I made. I was being a bad leader at times because I wasn't doing everything I should have been doing as a husband. So I was being a bad leader in my marriage. You understand what I'm saying? But now that I have learned, I have grown, I have moved on. Of course, I got therapy to get past that fuck marriage mindset. I'm in a better place. So now I'm a greater leader than I was before. So
and I think it takes failure.
I want to end this real quick. Jay Prince, I wanted to say that I did that when I was young. I found my husband at 22, by the way. So that ended that understanding what I wanted, got it.
All right, go ahead, Precious.
I was going to say sometimes it takes failure to, some people get it right off their first try. Some people get it right when they're 17. But I think that it takes failure for you to actually realize where you go wrong. It takes failure to realize, okay, this is not what I want, and I'm not going to go back to that. So, for those who have multiple failed relationships, you always have to start internally. You always have to start internally. My mom always said, if you point one finger at somebody, you got 3 more pointing back at you. So it's always that internal. If you have those failed relationships, to get that internal together.
Hey, real Precious. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
How come we could give women who dated Pookies in the lower, y'all consider the lower caliber of men? How come those women could get grace, but Pookies can't get that same grace? How come we can't get? How come Pookies
Why
can't get
can't they
no
get that same
grace
grace?
to correct themselves? Because we
I
never
mean,
talk about giving Pookies grace. We always talk about we gonna keep Pookies at the bottom.
well, some Pookies
But
just want to be Pookies. They
Pookies
don't
shouldn't stay at
grow.
the
They
bottom.
don't elevate.
I don't think they even recognize that they are a Pookie. I
No,
think
they,
that's what
And that's a fault within themselves.
I don't know. By the time you get your third baby mama, you should recognize that. You know.
Okay, what
yeah.
about the women with 10 baby daddies? And they still
They
get
failures
graced by
too.
men like Trigger Mike and Hink. Men
I-
like
still get
Hink and
wait,
Trigger
wait.
Mike still will
They got
marry
They
10
still
you.
baby
get what?
daddies. I ain't never heard no man give a
Hold on,
woman
hold on.
grace.
You
If they
got
got 10
you
baby
get married
daddies.
for a cause.
I was being
You should
facetious.
be married
and-
hoes grace.
Let's get some
Don't
order.
do that, JP.
Let's get some order, family. Let's get some order. All right. Let's try to keep the conversation going. Hank, I got you on mute. Hank. Hold on. Let's get some order. Shan Monet, come in for a second and give your thoughts.
My thought kind of went back from what Trigger Mike said. I've only been in a few relationships because my relationships I'm that chick who be in a relationship for way too long. I have a loyalty to things I probably shouldn't. But I will say that there was one relationship in particular, and because I live in a different state than my dad didn't necessarily meet at least two of and so the person who I had vet was actually my son's father. That's my people. I trust his opinion. We think a lot alike, and he was a person when I had this one guy in my life. He said that's not it, but I was in love, and he kept on saying, that's not it, and he was absolutely right. Now that I look back, I'm like, oh, he was absolutely right. But that was a person that I felt, and don't get me wrong, my dad will be a great at vetting, but he's in Alabama, I'm in Georgia. So it was just that my child's father was a little bit more convenient when it comes to that. And I trust, like I said, I trust what he says. As far as me taking accountability, I do know the last relationship that I was in, there were some things I had to think back, like, what did I do wrong? Because that was the only one that actually, in the other relationships, I was in them so long and it wasn't moving to where I wanted it to move to. And so I kind of got myself together to say, I can't be in this relationship. So I left them because they were just not getting me to the marriage thing. But the one relationship I can think back, like, I get why that didn't work out. Because now that I'm in this space, everything that you guys say in this space, I'm like, well, I did that with these other, but this one particular, I can see where I did do a reflection. It's like, okay, now I see where I failed, not on purpose, but what the failure, what I was doing wrong in that relationship. But one way to find out if you did something good or not, like I can tell you from the few guys that I did date, when you're done with them and they try to come back, I posted something the other day. This guy said, happy birthday. And it was an old picture. His hand was on my lap. And here go my ex. Oh, you in a relationship now? I'm like, are we checking up? Like, I haven't talked to you in how long? And he was the first person. I'm talking about when I posted it, it was like, I'm like, goodness, you checking for me, huh? But, they always come back. It's just too late at that point. But what I'm trying to say
Kind of
is
made you happy a little bit, right?
Well, no, because I'm over them. But it does make you feel like, I did, do something right, But I'm not perfect. I do remember I had my last relationship. I made some errors. There were errors in my ways, and it did not work out because of me.
Hold on, JP.
And now I see why. Especially in this space. You guys are so enlightening. You guys speak and I listen. Sometimes I get pushback, but trust me when I say I'm listening, taking heed to what you guys are saying. So.
I just want to ask her a question. That's all.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Hey, Shan,
yes.
Without being too open, because I've seen you on the panels before, you like to be open, honest, because we all believe being honest and open will actually can bring some differences with our talking points. When you talk about your errors and the bad choices that you made, what are some of those errors?
Well, I can tell you a unanimous error is me not going in the first date with getting clarity on where you stand in a relationship, and it's where our goals being the same as far as the relationship. that a commitment doesn't necessarily mean commitment that leads to marriage. It just means like we're having a great time right now. I guess you call it a situationship, but it was a commitment. Like, I mean, one was a live-in, you know. But even with that doesn't necessarily mean that he wants to get married, you know, but I do. So I can't live with you forever. And if I want to be married, I'm sorry.
Do you want the marriage? Because a lot of times when I'm listening to women, it sounds like women just want the marriage, the wedding, the ring, the new gifts and stuff like that, but they don't want to actually deal with the marriage itself. Because the moment things go wrong, that's how we got 70% of women leaving the marriages, divorce rates. So they don't want to. It's just observing it. It just seems like they just want the attributes and the title and the gifts and the wedding and stuff and all the other stuff. And after that's over with, and when they high go down, they want that high again. It's like a drug to them.
Well, I agree that.
Right, hold on. So we're gonna have Shan answer that, and Jay Prince just lay low for a little bit, so we get the other panels members involved with the conversation.
Sorry, JR.
All right, go ahead, Shan.
So I agree that it seems to me, even on the outside looking in, women are emotional. When things go wrong, they bail. That's actually the opposite for me. I'm pretty loyal. Like, it ain't too much I can't, take. But I will say that for me, it is something about a man saying, I choose you to have my last name. I choose you. I choose to give you something that I've never given, or I give very few women. There's something about that to me that is special.
All right. Hink or Precious, you guys want to chime in on this multiple failed relationships? You want to add anything to it? Or Lady Di?
I don't know. I would say for me, I had a father in the house. My mom and dad are still married. And so that was my blueprint. And so honestly, if you're not coming like that, it's going to be hard for me to go outside of that blueprint of what a man and a leader is, because I saw it growing up.
All right. Go ahead, Lady.
I want to say failed relationships is just shaping the person. It depends. So you can have failed relationships and still have failed relationships and continue to have failed relationships. But only a smart person knows, like, that's not going to work. Let's get it together and make it right. So people learn from their environment. People learn from their parents. Some people don't learn from anything. So this society doesn't have a lot of guidance on what should be done. And then you have some people who just don't listen to the guidance. So that's just how it is here in this society. But as a mature adult, you do have to figure it out, or you would continue into the foolishness. Multiple failed relationships is not good.
Okay. All right.
Also, I just wanted to say one thing. This is how you get a woman's unofficial body count. All right, get all her relationships and situationships together and let her try to lie and say that she won't have sex with these dudes. And then take that number and then multiply by 3. You're welcome.
Damn.
I don't agree with that, but okay.
Of course you don't.
You're not going to sit here and down my name. When I say I don't agree with something, it's for a reason. So don't try to put me in the whole category, because I'm everything but. Okay.
No, I didn't say you were. I didn't say you
were.
I'm
just telling you that that's not all women, including myself.
Okay. I'd expect a woman to say that. I'm just saying.
I did have another question for the panel real quick as we near. But one of the questions, I think Shan said that she likes to see if they're on the same page in the beginning. Do you think you can ask the question, but it doesn't necessarily mean they can just tell you what they want, tell you anything, right? Don't necessarily mean that they're on that path. So how can you really? I still think time is the biggest factor in being able to gauge what somebody is really on. You can ask all the right questions. You can, and what people don't understand is that even in the beginning, it's always a front. It's always a front of some sort. It may not be everything, but there's a front up there, because you want to put forth your best effort for the person that you do like. So it's always, you got to have balance as you receive what's coming in and being able to dissect it to make it fit whatever it is that it needed to fit in order to soothe your brain, whether you want to let them in or not. So when people say that, I'm asking in the beginning to try to see what page they on. You can gauge it, but just don't. Same thing for men or women. I mean, a woman can tell you anything. A woman can tell you I only had sex with 3 guys, and that shit might be a lie.
It's true. And just because someone had relationships don't mean they was sleeping with him. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Look at all y'all saying that. I'm so weak.
Well, I wouldn't call it a relationship at that point. If you're in a commitment with a guy,
like,
come on, you know that, you know, but we're not talking about dating. You're talking about I'm in a relationship with a guy.
I'm serious.
I mean, come on. We're in the liberation age where women are bragging that they
women
can do
empowerment.
it without a
Not
relationship.
everybody brags about
When
that.
I was
dating
dating
girls
9 years ago, it wasn't that profound now. But
So let me give
Y'all
you.
gotta stop it. Cut it out.
So you see, I said, women love to talk, so you got to get them talking. When you tell a woman, just ask her simply, like first date or second date, what went wrong in your prior relationships or situations. Women do not care to hate anyone they haven't had sex with. So when you get those bad stories and you get those situations where she, you know, her face is grunt, you like, she definitely, this dude waxed her ass all over the damn bedroom, then left her. Women do not care to have feelings about a man that like that, to say negative things about him that she did not have sex with. We know this. We pay attention.
yeah, but you talking about a majority of foolishness. I got married at 22. I ain't crazy now. All right.
Yeah,
So
you probably don't apply.
I'm saying that
your
there
prefrontal
are
cortex
majority
wasn't.
of women. Yeah, sure. But let's say Shan is she's saying that she per se no. You know, so yeah, I get you. I know y'all looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't mean to stir nothing up.
Nah, that's all good.
Because I was just going to ask all the ladies here, since y'all seem completely honest and y'all seem like y'all taking a lot of accountability, and I'm very proud of you and stuff like that. And maybe the questions that I'm asking y'all and y'all being very transparent can help a lot of females that's out there just trying to hide things. I just want to ask, you know, when y'all admit that a lot of y'all was the problem out these relationships, like, when I asked Shan, like, what are some examples, what I was actually asking, like, have y'all ever lied to y'all men? Have y'all ever cheated on a man or not? You know.
What do you think they're
Never
gonna say,
cheated
JP?
on. Listen, I've never cheated on a man.
So name one of y'all. So 10 out,
I
3 out of
haven't.
3.
I can't
Name
go.
one.
No,
Nobody.
Why is that? First of all, let me just tell you this.
Hey, he's got bad listening skills. You got to excuse him.
Hey, I'm trying to
That's
figure
the
out
life
who
of a
y'all
Pookie,
cheating.
baby.
This is let's have an honest conversation. And this is just Shantae.
Trying to make the situation as bad.
Listen, sometimes
Dante
I want to know
got
who
a
are y'all
man
cheating.
at home.
Listen,
Hold on, Jay Prince. Let her finish.
What I'm saying is, I be trying to figure out who y'all be cheating with, because I can't find one I'm even attracted to. Like, I'm like, who? Oh, I
Cheating
want
don't
to
always mean sexual, though, darling. Cheating don't always mean sexual. You can emotionally cheat.
But if you're gonna have a one night stand with somebody, isn't that the first thing you see is their attraction?
Cheat. You ain't gotta let nobody put them insert you. You can cheat emotionally, mentally.
Wait, hold
Yes.
on. Are you talking about men or women, Shan?
What I'm saying is, when I hear women say, oh, you know, it was one young lady. What's her name? It was one young lady. She was like, oh, she was I think she was on Jay Prince. I may have been your show, Jay Prince. And I remember, it might have been Fight Club. She came on there and she said, oh, I just started having sex 3 years ago. And then she said, I had sex with 12 people. And I'm like, where do you see 12 people? Yes, this happened on one of these shows.
Well,
and I'm thinking 12 guys in 3 years is a lot.
Yeah.
And then 2, where are you? Are you just looking at these guys? Oh, I want to have sex. Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that.
So, but think about it. Women are the ones getting approached. That's why we say when, you know, there's data out now that women cheat excessively more than men, because y'all have, like, literally walk out into the middle of the street and say, I'm horny and I want to have sex. How many dudes gonna be like, but you can't do that as a man, right?
Women hump who they want.
Exactly. Women are extremely choosy about the man they want to give that type of, that type they body to. So as a woman, you literally can just accept advances.
But I always thought, like for me, to me, there has to be emotional. Like you find more
Yeah,
gratification when
you're
there's
just
emotional
different.
attachment to a person.
And
You
you know
know,
what? I think you're trying to have the well, how do I put this? You're trying to have the mature love experience that most adults are trying to have.
She's a unicorn.
What's going on right now in modern day times
She's
is
a
women are
unicorn.
detaching from that, trying to behave like men and trying to have a immature experience, thinking that, oh, I can do it with no attachment. I can just go out here and let somebody dominate my body, right? Because you attach, you're having the natural mature experience where to give your body to someone, you need to fully accept him in all types of ways, right? There's a whole process involved, right? So that's the way men should go about the women that they're going to make their wives. Like, look, what roadblocks did she put up before she gave me the ultimate prize? The women out here ain't like that no more.
So lame.
In fact, this makes you more attractive, unfortunately. Like, there's some hoes out here. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to say it.
Not only just that
Jay
trigger mic,
Prince.
but that ring, bro. Oh, go
Hold
ahead,
on,
go
I'm
ahead, go
gonna
ahead.
get Lady down there. Go ahead, Lady
Jay
down.
Prince. So this Pookie stuff that y'all talking about, you're a Pookie or whatever. You still a Pookie now?
That's what they call me.
Oh, so you own up to that. All right.
Smoke weed every day.
Like Snoop Dogg.
Uncle Stepdaddy, they would consider you a Pookie. Are you a Pookie now?
Have I? Yes.
No, are you still now a Pookie right
You said,
now?
then am I still what now?
Are you a Pookie right now? Still?
Oh hell no.
Okay.
I was a Pookie in my late teens, early 20s. Like once I seen what that'll give you, I want to tell y'all something profound. The movie that changed my demeanor and my mentality and my attitude was Baby Boy. That's what changed my mind. When I seen Jody, bro, I said, nah, bro, I ain't gonna be like this.
Actually, when you talk
JP,
about
why didn't you watch that movie to change your mindset yet?
No, because I was just about to say when I think about
I'm
Pookie,
not like
when I think about Pookies and they mindset and thugs and stuff, they mindset. I
Every
actually
thug ain't a Pookie though, Jay Prince.
No. I actually admire it. They very brave.
Listen to this bullshit.
And they live in their own mind. They not submissive. They very masculine in what they do.
Said,
that's why all these
JP,
women on here is attracted to
So
them.
you admire the Pookie mindset.
Not all women attracted to those.
You look up to
not
the
every
Pookie
Pookie
mindset. Is
thug,
that
not
what
every
you're
thug.
telling
One at a
me?
time, y'all. One at a time. They can't hear us if we all talking, y'all.
Well, let me ask JP a question. So you are intrigued and love the Pookie mindset. It turns you on, JP. You get your dick in hard about being a Pookie. Is that what you're saying, JP?
I think it turns more women on than men.
But it sounds like it's turning you on because you say you admire, you look up to it. You're glad to be called.
No. What I'm saying is like I have been on the panel, right? And this is why they call me Pookies because of my mindset.
No,
and
you said you call yourself King Pookie.
I got it. You asked me a question.
Because
of my mindset. Because of my mindset.
Let him finish.
Pookie just got a different perspective of the social norm. Like for an example, like a lot of y'all can't express y'all talking points on here because of your jobs, because of your reputation, your image that y'all try to betray. And to me, that I can live in a life. I can live a life where I can be myself. In order for me to be accepted, I got to put on all these different masks, and that's
JP,
probably why a lot of these. How long he cut me off, Mr. Hink? That's why a lot of people that got to wear a lot of masks, eventually they lose who they are. They become miserable. They become depressed. They don't know where they're coming and going because every day of their lives, they got to put on an image that's not who they is what they sign up for. Whereas a guy like me, I come in and I can be very honest, open, vulnerable, and don't have to worry about no consequences for being myself.
JP. You the one sit there and talk about no snitching, right? You the king of no snitching, right?
That's not the topic, sir.
No, hell no. You talk about being yourself, right? You made that a topic now, King Pookie.
You brought it up. I'm sure JR want to stay on topic. We don't want to derail the show. Let's not derail the show.
Because you don't want me to say what I'm gonna say.
I want us to stay on topic. I don't want us to derail the conversation.
Come on, JP. You the king, no snitch, right? Yet you sit there and told me you gonna snitch on your girlfriend's daughter if they get into a fight, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, he derailing the conversation. Come on.
Hey, Prince, Uncle Stepdaddy. I think that you guys are gonna go ahead and close the show out. We'll get a short show today. So Appreciate you guys coming on the panel today. Thank you guys. I'm drop that down at the close. All right,
Somebody got
Jay,
some noise in the background.
yeah. That's I was saying I'm gonna drop y'all down. Jay Prince and Uncle Step Daddy. We're gonna go ahead and close the show on now because it's supposed to be a short show today. So
all right, Pookie
I
King.
appreciate y'all today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, family. Do we need any hurt feelings reports to be filled out? Should I contact HR now, or will I be getting somebody to stop by the office later?
No, Jay, I think we left that hurt feelings in 2022, baby. It's 2023 now. We ain't worried about that no more.
Okay. All right. So we got a lot of men.
Ladies and gentlemen on this panel, I believe.
Okay. So we're gonna have the men resting their masculinity and the women resting their femininity. Okay.
Are you gonna read those super chats, JR?
Yes, ma'am. I am. Appreciate it. That's my secretary right there. You got Marcus Evans. What's up, my good people? Happy New Year, new energy, new goals, new everything. Let's get it. I think he was trying to say. Appreciate that. Dedicated to my children's future. $10. Also, remember saying paying respect to the show, panel, and chat. Sunday energy, most definitely. Rebellious videos, $10. Happy New Year, everyone. JP, fist pump up. Shan, the teacher. I would get a detention on purpose for Shan. Marcus Evans, $5. JP sounds like a goof. The wealthy broke man, 199. Hey, JR, don't let the people derail your topics. Never that. Turner, $79, $5 says common errors, lack of communication, ignoring red flags, lack of submission. Just to name a few. And Scarlett, $10 says, what up, dope fam? Cliff Williams, $2 says free Keisha. I don't know who that is. Jeffrey Woodland, $2.56. That's a unique donation. You had to manually put that in, right? Another good one, and Happy New Year to all. I wonder if it's a deeper meaning behind it. 56. What you guys think? 256. It might be a lottery number, as old folks say. It might be a lottery number right there. Let me get what is it? Let me get 2 fast 6 straight. How y'all say it?
Yeah, them old folks used to say, let me pick 3 numbers.
All right, man. It's definitely been a great show. I'm glad you guys was able to participate and give me your time. Make sure you guys check Shan Monet out on She Critique. It was a great show they had this Friday, but they go live on the Lapeef Experience page. They go live every Friday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Also, make sure you guys follow The Real Precious. I did see Jordan in there dropping you guys channels periodically. And also Dating to Marriage Support. That's Ladies Dies channel. Make sure you follow. And Hink in the Basement. Hink does do panel discussions as well. And he also has this thing that he do. Is it on Monday Sports? Yeah, he does a breakdown of sports. So make sure you guys put Hink the Basement in and show him some love as well. Moz, make sure you continue to drop these people platforms. And shout out to the sponsor again, T Channel. Oh, another super chat. Marriage, Politics, and Sports. $5 says happy 2023. Almost got on. Yeah, you did. I think I did see you in the back. There. I almost feel bad, man. I did see him in the back. I know he's been active. Come on, call back up. I'll stay around. If you guys got to go, I'll stay around for another 5 minutes. But if y'all got to go, I understand. But I do want to get them up there. Try to reach the people, man, because I've been seeing them donate. So if you are there, sir, Marriage, Politics, and Sports, come on, call back in. I'll bring you up real quick and we'll get final thoughts from you. So if you haven't hit the like button, also make sure you hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. What's today? Today's Sunday. There won't be no Sage Talk Lead today. So make sure you guys enjoy your New Year's. What else is happening on the back end? Tomorrow's Monday. We'll be doing the solution show tomorrow as well. So make sure you guys tune in for that on the Lapeef Experience page. I'm still waiting on you, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. So if you're out there, come on, brother. Hit that link. Oh, man, I probably got to drop it again because he probably lost it. This link right here will be for him. I unpinned it. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Just got to show the people love. So you got to go out your way, right? Church say amen.
Man, JR, you know we got to get the people.
Good hospitality.
Yeah. I just dropped the link for you right there, sir. So come on in. I'm going to wait on you. Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Come on in, sir. Is this you right here? R. Payne, is that you?
That's him. That's him.
Okay. All right. What's going on, sir? All right,
I know you're getting ready to leave. Just a couple of things.
I was going to say thank you first off. You know, I do see you active in the chat as well and donating. So I appreciate you, sir. But go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations on your channel, JR. And I've been around listening to all this relationship stuff. Just real quick, I've been married for like 35 years.
Congratulations.
And, yeah, I shouldn't be a unicorn, but it sounds like I am. I can't. It's hard for me. I'm hard pressed to find other people married that long. But I got some stories. I tell the young guys I still have more game than they do. I try to get the guys off the dating apps and go out there and get rejected by women face to face until you get a tough enough skin to actually, land the one you want. But anyway, just on your topic of, y'all talked about Pookies and Ray Rays a little bit. I look at the male sexual habits in the bell curve, right? And how women approach black men, if we just look at it. If you know about the bell curve, the top 10, 15% of men are having their way with all the sisters, the modern sisters. They're all sharing these guys, maybe the unmarried ones, let's keep it that way. And then the bottom 10 to 12% or 15% of men on the far end of the bell curve is what we call Pookies and Ray Rays. And we get that mixed up. They ain't all bad guys. They just might be handsome. They gotta have the size. They might have the game, but they don't got much financially going for them. And they're also going through the women. And so when they leave these women after they have their way, it makes women feel a certain way. That's why we have so much negativity out there on both the high end and the low end. And then all the regular guys who most women think are ugly, like, if you ain't a 9 and a 10 and you're a guy, women almost don't even see you, right? So all those regular guys from 9 to 5, they have a tough time because a lot of those guys are starting to try to date from the apps. And that's their big mistake because they're not going to get chosen on the apps. They got to get their ass out there and just start saying hello to women. Get your rage out of the way and talk to the honeys, and you're going to get rejected. I mean, I don't know. When I was a young guy, man, women were unmerciful. I mean, I actually halfway looked good when I was young, and I was still getting rejected, So I was aim high, so I had to make it count. If I'm going to get rejected, it can't be from no ugly woman. It got to be a woman that it made it count, And, so when I got married, I outkicked my coverage. My wife, I had enough people telling me, how did you land her? Anyway, but that's another story. So go ahead.
OG, I would tell some of these young guys, man, take advantage of the women who are least desirable and get your practice in with those ladies until you work up the tough skin.
That's not. Are you talking about practice for? I thought you meant like practice in a relationship. I was about to say.
I'm talking about practice having conversation. I'm talking about practice having conversation. You know what I'm saying? Go get these women that people would consider undesirable, maybe too heavy, not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Practice on them.
Well, brother Hank, I can hear you, but you're gonna still leave those women a certain kind of way, especially the ones who are. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't serious with them,
but you might in the midst of it, you're gonna get your work in. You're gonna get your practice. I promise you, these ladies are doing the same goddamn thing.
Well, but the women ain't the leaders. Women are chaotic by nature. I mean, we don't need to get down to their level. I just think if men are on their point, women follow. Period. I don't care, right? So if we're on point, that's how we elevate. I don't know about the safe community and all that kind of crap, but if men start to get on their point, like this manosphere is trying to do, once we weed out the red pill rage guys, women are going to follow men who have direction. They just do. Period. And then, and so when you're vetting a woman for your wife or something like that, you can have meaningful conversations. And if she doesn't meet your standards, and that's what more black men need to have is standards, just walk away and find a different woman.
But OG, let me ask you this: you're doing the same thing. If I'm going out there being rejected, you just choosing who a different avenue. You're going to that 9 and 10, where I'm telling these guys go to the 4, 5s, and 6s. We're both getting the same type of rejection.
Well, no, I'm not saying.
It may not feel as bad if it comes from an ugly chick compared to the most knocked down chick.
But my question is, I have a question. I'm sorry to interrupt this. My concern would be is if they shoot their shot at a girl who you feel like is not attractive and she does like him, that would be sucky for her because maybe she doesn't reject him. She may say, okay, I may like him. So that would be unfair to her.
Right. So you don't monkey branch. You're asking the men to monkey branch the women. And what I'm trying to say to you is there is some guys who do that, by the way. You know, and this is where women have to be careful. There are men who will be your boyfriend forever, 10 years, 11 years, and your clock is running out. And as soon as he finds a woman that he wants, he's dumping your ass. And now all your eggs are gone and shit. Excuse my language. And now you're out there. I tell guys, don't do that either. I don't know how many women I've told, this guy's leading you on. He's leading you on. I mean, you need, so what I'm trying to say is, I think women need accountability, and a lot of stuff that's being said about the black woman, like your Crimson Cure channel, she's absolutely right. However, we don't need to get stuck down there. We just need to elevate by doing what we need to do and move forward and weed out the women who actually want to come and move forward with a man. I mean, every woman I say needs a cover of a man. I don't care how successful they are. At some point, I don't care how much crap you talk on the radio and on the TV about how boss crap you are. At night, when you're in that bed by yourself, you're thinking about, damn, I don't got nobody covering my back, right? And all those women, they'll never admit it, and that's why some of them are so bitter. So that's just one thing. So I mean, that's what I caught at the end of the show because I got on late when y'all started talking about that. So I look at everything as a bell curve, and even with women, I look at the bell curve, and a lot of stuff that they choose hurts themselves. I'm kind of working on something when I'm gonna try to embellish that as I go through it because everybody fits in this spectrum, and it's not 100%, but it kind of helps you understand why our relationships are so broken, and just when we talk about 50-50, a lot of people get that wrong. It might be 50-50 from a financial standpoint, but it's not 50-50 in terms of a relationship standpoint because everybody should be putting 100% in, right? So if you find a woman, I'm bouncing around, but if you find a woman who makes as much or more than you, a man could still have leadership because you still have to give her your 4 Ps. Again, I'm a Crimson Cure person. Your provision, your procreation, your protection, and your problem solving. The provision side might not be as important because she could provide for herself, but those other Ps, she's going to need that from you. And a lot of guys get that wrong. That's your submission to your woman, providing those 4 Ps. Her submission to you is her femininity, her loyalty, her nurturing, her access, exclusivity, and access. And me, I've been married for my 35 years. I never asked my wife to submit to me. I never used those words, never, not once, or obey. We just got this unspoken communication that lasted us for almost a lifetime.
But
I mean, this is me talking. My wife could be in the background, trying to hang me in effigy in secret somewhere. But she seems like she likes this thing because she's always around me.
But OG, unfortunately, a lot of these cats now, they have to have that question. They got to ask that question. Unfortunately,
why? How are you going to get an answer that can satisfy you?
And it may not be true.
But when I'm asking you, Hank, how could you get an answer that would satisfy you? Because no matter what, you have to feel. But okay, so here's how you get the answer. You got to feel the spirit of your woman, like the body count question. Let's go to the body count. Listen, I would say that most of us could tell the difference between an incel and a gigolo, right? If you could tell the difference between how an incel moves and a gigolo, you could tell the difference between how a reserve woman moves and a 304 or a porn star. You should be able to do that, right?
It's true. Because I want to say it's true. Real quick, it's true because, for example, like when I got with my husband, he felt like the spirit aspect. He didn't have to ask me all these crazy questions, and then that's how it was. He never said, oh, you need to submit and obey. He already know since I was committed, that's what I was doing anyway. So it's just underlining understanding. But a lot of people don't know what they want and look for. So that's why that's that community of, failed relationships. That's what's happening. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you need. You don't know nothing. So the guidance is missed. So we can do what you're saying, which sounds good to do. But today, like these people, they're not even in the right space to do that. They don't even want marriage. That's the problem I see.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, if I could, I know I'm being anecdotal. The point is that when my wife and I got together, she had, she went to college. I met her. I took her from her house. And I went to college too, so I know what went on there. So I said, am I going to freak out the fact that she was in college as a church girl? Yeah. But so one day, I'm gonna tell you, one day she got in her mind that she was gonna tell me what was going on, and as soon I just felt her spirit. I said, let me stop you right there. I don't want to know none of that shit. I don't want to know anything that you was doing up there when you was in college. I said, and I told her this, I said, if you learned something that was good, you better make sure I get the benefit of that shit. That's all I said. I said, if you learn some shit, I better get all the juicy, little tidbits. And that was it. So we just kind of moved forward. But I knew she wasn't a 304. I just knew, right?
You see, men nowadays not talking like that, and they can't feel. I mean, they can see how 304s are moving. And it's crazy because, you have men who will sleep with all these women, and you have women that are not moving like that. So they're hidden, or they're not outside, or they're the homebodies. You know what I mean? And men say, oh, well, there are no good women. But you don't have men speaking like I could feel her spirit, or I could do, like, you don't have men speaking like that. You really don't have men speaking like that today.
Because men who sleep around get broken too, by the way. When women sleep around, they lose their ability to pair bond. When men sleep around, they might project, on how they're saying, if I'm doing it, I'm not that good of a guy. If she's doing this with me, how many guys have she done it with? Those kind of things. So, I mean, there's a whole psychology around it, but I don't feel like I'm a unicorn. I just think that men, I think men.
You are.
Huh?
You are.
Yeah, well, let me ask you something, Hank, and JR. I mean, you can say this yourself. We all have already accepted that we're not going to marry a virgin, right? I mean, we already accepted. Men in the West know.
I asked that last show.
Right? We're not going to say what?
I asked that last show. I asked the men. I don't think anybody answered it, but I said, who's marrying a virgin?
Right. So we accept that already. That doesn't mean we want her to have 100 bodies. But the point is, the one thing, no matter how much a woman loves you, she never forgets the first guy. You could be married for 100 years. If I went to my wife and said, do you remember your first guy? She probably knows how big he was that, what he did to get the drawers and the whole 9 yards. I mean, it never goes away. But if you could handle that, we're starting to handle a little bit more, right? So we're starting to say, what's good? What's a good body count? 5 or 10, or because it all definitely is age dependent as well, right? Yeah, so anyway, but that's. I mean, this is me. I don't feel like I'm that special. I just have experience.
But not only that, OG, you not only got to accept that she's not a virgin anymore. Nowadays, you got to accept her with child.
I draw the you do, but I kind of draw the line there. Not draw the line.
But that's a personal choice, right? But you still most of these women nowadays, it's hard to tell, a 3 or 4 from what they call a good girl, because there's very little difference. There's a thin line.
It's true.
Between them. True. Like I said, most of them, these chicks have kids. You're just taking a memo, man. If you just got one child, I can deal with you. When you get into multiple kids, that's when it gets a little sketchy. That's just where it is in 2023 now.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree. But then again, we have to also understand that there are still women out there who still don't have children and that are marriageable. You just got to cherry pick to find them. And as far as, like you said, a lot of men, black men have always been good stepdads. We've always been stepdads. I mean, this is not nothing new. You can go back to your history, your family. This stepdads all, for years. My grandfather in 1909 was a stepdad, and back then, it was supposed to be unheard of. So black men have always been willing to be stepdads. I just think now we're more conscious to know what it really means and the pitfalls of being a stepdad and accepting another man's seat. You know, and so when I talk to guys, I said, if you're going to have a woman with a kid, if she has one, that's one thing. If she has two, then the question is by the same guy. If it's by different guys, then I said, well, you know, you got to kind of really think hard. You know, if it's by the same guy, or she was married and widowed or married and divorced, that makes a difference. It shouldn't, but it does. And so there's like layers to it all. But if you're a single guy on your game, I kind of tell people, man, I keep looking for a woman that don't have no kids. And I would tell a woman the same thing. You know, find a man with no kids. And then if you do have kids, find a person who has kids as well. Because now y'all have something in common to talk about, right? Y'all have blended families. You kind of understand where each other's coming from. So that it supposedly takes away a barrier. You know, so I think we complicate a lot of this stuff. And even with the woman who's educated, I think we kind of, feminism has grabbed a lot of black women we kind of black women champion feminism more than even white women today, because white women, they might be feminists.
I'm not going to take shots to Shantae. Shantae's not like that. Shantae's not like that. She's better than that.
Shantae.
I'm just playing. I'm just messing with her.
Okay.
I'm not a feminist at all.
Well, I'm sorry, but anyway, but black women but white women are feminists, but they still understand the need to be covered by their men. That's why they vote the way they do. Right? So anyway, I can ramble on and on. I thanks JR for letting me
Hey,
I got so much wrapped up in this. It's crazy.
Yeah, like Mr. Payne, I want you to reach out to me, man. I would love to hear more from you.
Okay, I'll do that.
So just just go to what is my JR@lapeef.com, or either go to info@lapeef.com. And just
you have it in your link down here? I'll find it.
Yeah, or you can go on IG.
Okay, you got it.
All right, just go on IG, or you can you should see something, or you should be able to find it.
Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah, I'll be around, man. I mean, not, Lord willing, I'll be around. I'll find you.
Okay. All right, appreciate it.
All right, so I can ramble on for hours. So
it's a different perspective, and it's a good perspective. It's what we need out here today to compare to see what works for your household, right?
Yes. I mean, in my whole family, when they hear me talk, man, they say, "Oh man, here we go again." Because I have young cousins who are single mothers, a couple of single dads, and the first thing I ask them, "When you getting married? When y'all getting married?" And then I let it go, and they all look at me like I'm crazy. But I said, if you don't hear it from nobody else, you're gonna hear it from me at least once.
Okay.
You know, that's it.
Okay. All right, Payne. I'm gonna go.
All right. I appreciate it. A nice channel. See you guys later.
Thank you for that. You were awesome.
Thank you. All right.
I put your channel in the chat, so all he has to do is click it.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you get that. Thank you. All right, Payne. I appreciate you guys giving grace for that. It was definitely needed. I think we got some gems, man. The OG.
That was great, actually.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's always good to hear a perspective. It wasn't. I can understand some people may not agree with certain things you say, but at least it made sense, so we can apply it. With that being said, thank you guys for the like button on your way out. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think, that was him. No more super chats. I think we're good. All right, till next time, man. I see y'all. Thank you again.
See you later. My daughter Lily says hi, y'all.
Hey, yeah, make sure y'all give Jay Prince a follow too. They asked me to do that. Jay Prince has been around, so make sure you guys check his channel out as well. Come on, y'all. Let's be respectful now. Be respectful.
I'll drop his link.
Oh, yeah, I thought you was being funny.
I'm gonna drop his link in the chat.
I didn't know if it was sarcasm or not. Jay Prince still is in the background, so y'all make sure y'all.
Oh, is it?
Oh no, I wasn't being sarcastic. I was being real.
Hey, he's waiting on the real pressure to get back there.
What?
Who are you laying back up?
You said I could shout my channel out?
No. I said we shot your channel out, but he was laying down like this with his feet up.
He was sitting there just in the back, just chilling.
Wait, I'm telling you, wait for the real pressures.
Everyone had his feet up. He had his feet laying on his stomach with his feet.
Did he have a teddy bear between his arms, JR?
Nah, I didn't want to bring him. I didn't want to put him out there like that, man. Okay. I need to keep him back there, bro.
I love you, JB.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and you say you got it. What's this? Thanks, Jay. No problem, Jay Prince. I'll catch you later, brother. I'll be going to get up out of here. Otherwise, we'd be going to another topic, you know what I mean? All right, hit that like button on your way out.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to all my green gang out there. I see you guys. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor, Teej Hamlin, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off on the free gift. That link is in the description. Appreciate all the support, you guys. Thank you guys for everything you do, because without you, we would not be where we are today. With that being said, just want to say thank you. You guys enjoy yourself. Be safe out there. Make sure you do something good today. Go ahead and continue to spread that positive energy out there. If you're working today, shout out to you. You make sure y'all be safe and have fun at work. Another banger in the books. If you just now coming up, you're late, catch the replay. Lastly, but surely, shout out to my green gang out there. I see you, Catherine Forbes, SD, Larry Walker. Who else we got up in there? Appreciate you, Dating to Marriage Support, for dropping those links. Catherine Forbes, I see you. I see you, Peaches, in the chat as well. Appreciate Ricky, man. Make sure y'all catch Ricky, the real precious. Thank you, guys. Hink, Jay, everybody. Cal, appreciate y'all. That like button, family, hit that like button. It's the last track. It's the last track, family. It's the last track. Appreciate all the support. I got one more track. This is the last track. I'll slow it down for all y'all R&B folks out there. All y'all folks that's in love. You're now rocking out with Lapeef Radio. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel on your way out. It's a new year, right? I don't know why y'all waited this long to get it right, but go ahead and make a difference. Make that difference right now. This is Lapeef Radio. We out. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all check out that Bridging the Gap with Kelly Combos over there. Make sure y'all catch our Bridging the Gap on the Lapeef Experience channel. You're now rocking out with Lapeef Radio, family. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow everybody on individual platforms. Appreciate you guys. You gonna make a move? Make that move right now. What you waiting on? Go ahead and start now. Let's get to it, y'all. It should be the year y'all not playing no games. You gotta take them risks, calculated risks, y'all. Come on. It's the last track, fam. It's the last track. All my truckers out there, let me hear them horns blow right now. You're not rocking out with Lapeef Radio. Come on, y'all. I got one more track for y'all, man. It's kind of hard to leave, man. I'm enjoying myself. The chat's still flowing a little bit. This might be the last track, though, real talk. But I love y'all. Sometimes it's hard to walk away from the mic. Some people just like the music, man. I'm going to shut my ass up so y'all can go ahead and rock out to this last track. Want to say thank y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I almost got this channel 80K, y'all. Come on, let's go ahead and push it up there. Thank you guys for all the support. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Him. And make sure y'all make the day count, y'all. Make sure y'all doing something productive. It's a year we're not gonna play around. Let's go ahead and be productive, y'all. Let's go ahead and spread that positivity, y'all. Come on, let's go.